Whoop, whoop. There it is. Man, I was just out of it today. I had, oh man, a late start and a late start and a late start. But I'm so glad you guys are here with me today. Good morning to everyone. I know it's 10:30, 10:33. It's 10:33. Oh my gosh, I didn't do that on purpose. I swear I didn't do that on purpose. I promise Lindsey Graham's not in the corner of the room. Mickey Mouse on the other side of the room. Mickey Mouse is like, you know when you're going to start, right? Huh? You know when you're going to start the episode? Yeah. You better start that episode at the right time. 3 minutes. I don't care if they think you're late. 3 minutes, big guy. You know, that's not what's going on. That's not what's going on, guys. I promise. Anyway. I promise that's not what's happening right now. Lindsey Graham is nowhere near this studio of mine. Nowhere near it whatsoever. He's probably like in a tunnel somewhere, you know, Disney World, running around, doing what he does. Let's get right into it. Candace pretty much is the head of the Tyler Robinson defense team. So there's that, you know, she's just the head of it. I haven't seen anything like this before, the way she broke all this down, because you guys all know what happened. The whole thing with the fragment of the bullet not matching the firearm that Tyler Robinson allegedly had in his possession. None of it made sense. They couldn't match it up. Right away, all the regular names. Oh my God, someone scared the hell out of me. Someone's like, unmute. Bro, don't. Oh, geez. I have another microphone on. Sorry. The wife microphone is still on from yesterday. Let me just get rid of that. My bad. Someone said unmute. Almost lost my mind. Anyway, it didn't make any sense whatsoever. All of these characters, the Graham Allens, the Garys, the Colvettes, the Blakes, right? The Tatums. I'm going to show a little bit of Tatum talking about it too. But I mean, I don't know, man. They all just came out of nowhere. They're all saying how this is nonsense. They're all just mad about the headline of an article and not really caring what's in the article, which I found very suspicious just in and of itself. But I mean, you know, they came out of nowhere. And then Candace rolls up. And her hair should have been pulled back, right? I thought we had an agreement. Do you guys agree? We had an agreement that we knew to buckle up when the hair is pulled back. And now all of a sudden she's just throwing us curveballs. You know, we got to get prepared. Deceitful is what it was. But of course we forgive. And, and then she just goes deep into the 28 pages of what Tyler's defense team was talking about. I was going to show you a bunch of different highlights, and I might still show you those things just little by little. But I think Lance was right. He showed me, he gave me a timestamp near the end, and I think that's the craziest part because it kind of touches on everything that people are trying to do right now in terms of dismissing that article. Now, I should show you the article. I'm sure you guys know about it. We'll just go Daily Mail, Tyler Robinson. I mean, as soon as this article came out, and it's one of those things, and funny enough, Barron just spoke about this. He talked about how they have this little thing that they can grab onto, and they say, well, this is nonsense, so forget everything. Baby bathwater, toss it all out. So they didn't like this headline, right? They got really upset about this headline. Oh, I gotta pop my screen on real quick. Oh, my screen's gigantic. I guess it serves the purpose for this right here, but I mean, geez, I gotta turn this. I gotta change the screen around. So the bullet used to off Charlie Kirk did not match the rifle allegedly used by Tyler Robinson. We'll click through on this. Let me make this screen a little smaller for everybody. This is, we still talking about Tyler Robinson? That's what's on the screen, right? Are we still talking about Charlie Kirk? Is this It's a Democrat hoax. I don't really understand. Why are we talking about this guy? So they didn't like this. And this is what Graham pointed at. This is what Gary's pointing at. This is what Andrew and Blake did like a 15-minute segment on as well. But when you go deeper into it, you start to realize, and I said it multiple times yesterday, it's the fragment didn't match the rifle. It's coming back inconclusive. They cannot match up the fragment that they found to the rifle. Now, I actually am going to show a couple of things, because one thing that Candace touched on, then we're going to talk about this. I mean, we have to talk about this. I mean, Fleet is just something else. Just something else. We're going to talk about, that's going to be a little palate cleanser, because now we're going to get into the weeds a little bit. That'll be a little palate cleanser. We're going to bring that up afterwards. That's amazing. But there is one thing that she showed that I have to make sure you guys see, because we do forget about these things, because there has been so much stuff just pumping out constantly. But I think this is really worth mentioning, because what happened here? Who did this? You know, why doesn't Andrew have to answer for this? Or Erica, whoever.
September 20th, after the autopsy and the death certificate were issued, they communicate to the public the bullet was found beneath Charlie's skin. Okay? We can read that statement together, because they want you to forget these things. Andrew tweeted, "I want to address some of the discussion about the lack of an exit wound with Charlie. I'm usually not interested in delving into most of this kind of online chatter, and I apologize if this is somewhat graphic, but in this case, the fact that there wasn't an exit wound is probably another miracle, and I want people to know. I just spoke with the surgeon who worked on Charlie in the hospital. He said the bullet absolutely should have gone through, which is very, very normal for a high-powered, high-velocity round. I've seen wounds from this caliber many times, and they always just go through everything. This would have taken a moose or two down, an elk, etc. But it didn't go through. Charlie's body stopped it. I mentioned to his doctor that there were dozens of staff, students, and special guests standing directly behind Charlie on the other side of the tent, and he replied, quote, "It was an absolute miracle that someone else didn't get killed. His bone was so healthy, and the density was so impressive that he's like the man of steel. It should have just gone through and through. It likely would have killed those standing behind him too." End quote. Andrew then concludes, "In the end, the coroner did find the bullet just beneath the skin."
Like, why doesn't he have to answer for that? That's what he said. Now they're finding fragments, and that's what they're analyzing. Why aren't they analyzing the bullet that he claimed that they found? Why doesn't he have to, like, right now, like I said, he's done a segment on the Daily Mail article, the headline, basically. They're not even going into the article. They're staying with the headline. They're like, this headline, this is malpractice. How dare they do this? Why doesn't he have to talk about it? Look, why doesn't he have to say, oh, yeah, that, you know, I just made that up. I don't know. Like, why doesn't he have to say that? Why is it that the Daily Mail has to be put up on the cross? Why is it that everybody else has to be questioned? Why is it everybody else is a grifter and cliques and heartless and evil, demonic? Why doesn't he have to answer about this at all? Like, nothing. No, hey, this is what actually happened. Hey, I know I said that there was a bullet, but, you know, I don't know. I mean, I wasn't really listening to the surgeon. I mean, Erica was just like really talking over the surgeon. She said to write down what she said. The surgeon hung up because he didn't like that we were both just talking to each other. And, you know, like, I don't get it. I don't get it. That's a very weird part. I don't want to play all the highlights that I found, because I do think that this is the most important one. But that's a pretty big one as well, because he's still out here just running around like he didn't say that. Like, it's like he didn't do that at all. And we're all kind of supposed to just be like, that's fine. Get to the next thing, Andrew. But that's a lie. Like, he lied. You know? Like, why aren't we talking about that more? The fact that he lied. Why does it? I'm so baffled that he doesn't have to answer that. But Candace has to, like, solve the case. And if she doesn't have the exact layout of everything that happened, she has to shut up. But Andrew can just make things up randomly. And it's like, well, next podcast of this dead guy show. What's going on, everybody? We're on this guy's show. I know you clicked through. You thought you were going to see that guy, but he's not here anymore. It's a Charlie Kirk show, ladies and gentlemen. Change the name of the show already. Change the name. Retire the show. Retire the show. That's enough. You know? Anyway, the show should just be a bunch of young people who are turning point people throughout colleges, and they should just be on the show. And it should just rotate like that all the time. That's what it should be. It shouldn't be Andrew and Blake. This is nonsense. It's disrespectful nonsense. But anyway, let's get to the most important part when it comes to the bullet and the fragment and the rifle and the Tyler Robinson and the shills, because this dispels all of them, every single one.
Actually, the craziest part of the filing that I don't think anybody noticed. Okay, everybody's talking about the ATF, but the devil is always in the details. The feds are always in the details, okay? Now, I'm going to read this. Regarding the firearm evidence, the defense has been provided with an ATF summary. Again, just a summary report, which indicates that the ATF was unable to identify the bullet recovered at autopsy to the rifle allegedly tied to Mr. Robinson. Although the state has not indicated an intent to produce this report at the preliminary hearing, the defense may very well decide to offer the testimony of the ATF firearm analyst as exculpatory evidence. Okay, so they met, they conferred, and they're like, okay, we haven't even received, we got a summary that like this is not matching, but we want to see the whole report. We want to see how they got there, because the report will show us how they conducted this. We'll actually be able to see that bullet fragment. How big is, I don't know. We know nothing. And then Erica's team comes in, the state comes in, they're like, it doesn't matter. We're not even going to bring up the ATF thing. So you have our word. So we're good. They're like, well, first of all, why aren't you bringing that up? And it's not about whether you're good. It's about whether we're good, because that's pretty exculpatory for us. If, the gun does not fit, you must acquit. This is the purpose of a preliminary hearing, is to get a judge to just unilaterally dismiss something as an option. So what's up with that? Why are you not giving it? They're like, oh, because we're going to do some other testing down the line. Here.
The O.J. Simpson reference is just wild. If the gun does not fit, you must acquit. I mean, Candace Cochran, am I right? Candace Johnny Cochran Owens out of nowhere. Absolutely ridiculous. Some of you are too young to even know what I'm talking about. You don't even know O.J. You think it's juice. Oh, O.J. was the juice. You have no idea. And he killed people. Pretty sure everybody knows that. Anyway, let's keep going.
Here's where it gets crucial. Pay attention. Look alive, okay? It goes on and it says, in order to make this determination, it is necessary for the defense and its firearm expert to review the ATF case file and the protocols relating to this examination, which have not yet been provided. The state has also indicated that the FBI is in the process of conducting a second comparative bullet analysis as well as a bullet lead analysis, that these analyses are not yet complete. Okay, pay attention, Tyler Robinson's defense team. I'm about to help you out in a big way. So they told you that, you conferred. They said, okay, don't worry, we got it. We got this. We're going to do a secondary thing with the feds. And like me, I'm nosy. I'm like, wait, what do you mean? The ATF is alcohol, tobacco, and firearms. That's the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms. If they couldn't do it, what extra power does the FBI have to do it? If the firearm people can't do it, why is this going to the FBI? So I said, what is a comparative bullet lead analysis? What is that? I need to know things. I like to learn. And lo and behold, we find out that the CBLA, the compositional analysis, is a discontinued forensic technique that analyzed trace elements, copper, arsenic, in lead to link crime scene bullets to suspects. It was primarily used by the FBI from the 1980s until 2004, but it was then abandoned in 2005 due to flawed scientific, statistical, and interpretive validity. Wait, they just continued this like 20 years ago, 21 years ago, because they said it was flawed? And sure enough, Skylar starts looking through and he's like, yeah, no, the innocents, the people have been freed because of how flawed this was. They literally put the wrong people in prison using this technology until it became so obvious that nobody would even stand trial and back it anymore. So they just got rid of this analysis. It's been gone for 20 years. Wake up, Tyler Robinson's defense team. I know it's a lot going on, 600,000 files. This is them telling you they're going to make this bullet fit no matter what. The feds will do it. If ATF isn't going to be corrupt, we'll be corrupt. And they've been corrupt since the beginning of this. Look at this news clip explaining further why and how this technique that they're now going to employ got discredited historically and is no longer in use. Here are the reasons why.
This is pretty crazy. This is pretty crazy. This is why I say, like, I had some other highlights, but I think this is the biggest one, right? Because I don't like to play too much of people's episodes, but this is the biggest thing. So it does seem like they're just going to I mean, I know Kash Patel. He is a honey connoisseur, right? He does not get this honey from his girlfriend whatsoever. Okay. They're just in a loving relationship, just an America first relationship. That's all they are, right? Even though he has a bank account in India, it's been revealed, and he has a profile where for some reason it has a blue and white flag instead of a red, white, and blue flag. It's completely fine. It's completely fine. Nothing to see here. It seems like, allegedly, maybe, perhaps, they might try to make this fit no matter what. It does seem that way. I know Candace is a little bit wild in her thought process, but I think she's right about this. And the fact that they're taking this away, kind of like they took away the investigation from counterterrorism. Counterterrorism's like, oh, don't worry, we'll help you find this. And, this person looks like they're Israeli. Okay, well, and Kash is like, stop right now. Stop what you're doing. Stop. Everyone stop. Get out. Joe, Tulsi, get out. Get out. We'll figure this out ourselves. Thank you very much. Dan, are you redacting everything? I'm going as fast as I can. It seems like the same type of thing. So, man, Trump really got his guy. As much as you can say whatever you want about Kash, but he's doing exactly what the administration wants. He's not a rogue guy doing whatever he wants. He's doing exactly what the administration wants. Why would they want something like this done? I have no idea. I couldn't even make a funny joke about it. I have no clue. But he's doing exactly what he's being told. Anyway, let's keep going.
Why it got discredited. Take a listen to this local Atlanta news clip.
FBI agents swore by it in courtrooms across America for decades, a type of forensic science called bullet-led analysis.
This was used in thousands of cases and hundreds of trials, but the FBI stopped using it over flaws in the science. Now at least one man is free as another fights for his freedom. National investigative reporter Chris Nakamoto looks into the tainted testimony.
It was definitely a shock to the whole community.
In 1991, 45-year-old Norma Jean Yates was found inside this home, shot to death 7 times. The house set on fire.
Mayor.
She deserved better than that.
Her death, a defining event in the life of her husband, Jimmy Yates, because 6 years later, a jury convicted him of her murder. It's his first sit-down interview after being released in 2021.
Did you kill your wife?
No. I've maintained it all these years.
Police found a bullet in his vehicle, which they said matched the lead in bullets at the crime scene. That science the jury trusted when it ultimately convicted Yates, no longer used by the FBI. When a weapon is missing or a bullet too damaged, the FBI claimed at the time their science can match bullets to ammunition through the lead alone. Our national investigative team found the FBI admitted to using this science in 2,500 cases, and it was introduced in hundreds of trials across America. But in 2005, the FBI pulled the plug on this practice. Their admission, neither scientists nor bullet manufacturers are able to definitively attest to the significance of an association made between bullets in the course of a bullet-led examination.
They discontinued this because not even the scientists or the bullet manufacturers would testify that that made any sense. Not even the scientists or the bullet manufacturers. We don't know how you're doing this. You're just saying that you have some special scientific technique that the scientists are saying is not so scientific, and the bullet manufacturer is saying, yeah, this doesn't make any sense. And so they just quietly stopped doing that in 2005. Hey, but guess what, guys? Kash's boys are going to dust that off, pull it back, because ATF probably said, a little too obvious and corrupt for us. Okay, best we can do, we're the feds, we're the Fed boys, love you, but can we give you an inconclusive? Can we just say inconclusive? It probably doesn't even match. Inconclusive is the best I can do as your homie. You guys are on your own if you're going to be that corrupt, despite this history of the strategy being corrupt, because scientists, and you put a lot of people in jail wrongly, and the feds are like, yeah, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to put somebody in jail wrongly. So that's what we're doing. We need to bring back the technique that's been discontinued for 20 years.
Kash Patel just covered in honey. That picture that I will show you guys, he's just like, Yeah. Can we just do this? Can we just do this? Please? Does he even have a new deputy? Oh, it's his girlfriend. That's why she's doing all those little research pieces. She's the new deputy. Well, I think she deserves it. If Erica Kirk could be CEO of Turning Point, his girlfriend could certainly be deputy director. I mean, she probably was already. Dan was just in there, just sitting around, shark eyes, just wondering where his hairline went, unable to give it up, But it's weird. The whole thing's very weird. And the thing about it is, the reason I say Candace is destroying this whole case is because nobody would have brought that up. You think the defense would have had enough time by now to bring up what Candace is saying, what Candace is pointing out. But you haven't heard anything like that, because that would be a pretty big thing for them to bring up in the public. Like, hey, this is what they're doing. This is no good, right? You can't do this. It's been 21 years since this method was used. And we don't use it anymore because it's not accurate. You think they would have brought that up? I don't think they're really working for Tyler. I got to be honest. I don't think they're working for his best. They're working for him, but I don't think they're working in his best interest. Crazy that Candace is more so working in his best interest than they are. It's pretty wild. Candace and Barron are basically his representation in this whole thing. At least towards the public, they are. I don't know what they're doing behind the scenes. It doesn't seem like much. So you would think that they would bring this up, but they don't. And if Candace did not say this, then all of the clips that I have of Officer Tatum saying, you do not understand the amount of evidence that we have. It is so mountain. It is so mountain. It is mountainous. I mean, it is like that mountain that they call Everest. It is so high in the sky, apple pie, this mountain of evidence. You don't know. You have to be quiet. Can I remind you about Breonna Taylor? I have the evidence. I had the evidence then, and I have it now. Why do you have evidence? You're a podcaster. Why are you involved in the evidence? Experts, this is Fox News. Experts debunk Tyler Robinson's defense ballistics claim unable to identify is not the same as ruled out. This is the stuff. Andrew, let me tell you something. Let me tell you what's the bottom of the barrel, okay? Ballick's tones, that's one thing. He was a big name, I understand who you're trying to appeal to when you have Ballick's on your team. Gary, fine. Hardcore conservatives who are like, that guy say he served the country. I'm going to listen to him and his long head. I'm going to listen to him. That's completely fine. When you're sitting down with Chris Cuomo, oh my God, I can't even believe it. You're sitting down with Chris Cuomo? That's disgusting. I have to say it. And I think a lot of you understand why. You're sitting down with Chris Cuomo? Ugh, goodness. But you see what I mean? It's revolting. But everything that they're saying would just go unchecked. If Candace didn't say this, we wouldn't know. Because, this 28-page thing, listen, 28 pages is not a long thing. And shame on all of us for not sitting down and reading it. But we all got lives and stuff. We got kids and stuff. So we're not doing that type of stuff, right? I mean, so it's hard for people to sit down, read 28 pages, and then decipher what exactly is being said and everything like that. But it is a way of kind of wedging something in there that is kind of like, the same way they do with a bill. There's a bunch of what they call pork in a bill. It's called this thing, and then it's a bunch of pages, and then they're like, and we're allowed to spy on every single American if we want to, and we can kick in their door if we need to. And they just work that right in there, and they just hope nobody reads it. That's exactly what's going on here. They're just hoping nobody reads this. This is what Turning Point is hoping. Turning Point is hoping, Fox is hoping, Cuomo, Tatum, Gary, they're hoping, Graham Allen, they're hoping nobody reads this kind of thing. But then Candace brings it up. Can't wait to see Barron's show today. I don't even know what it's about. I have no clue. But over the developments, I feel like it's going to be good. He hasn't announced that it's going to be great, but I think it's going to be great. But who would have known about this? I don't even want to play the Cuomo clip. You guys have no idea. I'd rather watch Rachel Maddow on repeat for hours than listen to Chris Cuomo. I can't believe it. Anyway, whatever. I'll play it. Just, oh, God. Then we'll go back to Candace. We'll cleanse our palates with some Candace. Don't worry. Let's just hear it.
Andrew Colvett, and he joins us now. Brother, I wish I was bringing you in to talk about something else, to be honest. But I want to give you a chance to deal with this on your own terms. It's all very hot right now that, see, it wasn't him. How do you deal with what comes along with this personally and at the organization?
Yeah, thanks for having me, Chris. I would just say, my biggest beef is with this Daily Mail headline. First of all, it was what I consider media malpractice, the way that they presented it, and it felt like they were catering it to this cottage industry that's exploded online about conspiracy theories after Charlie's assassination. So I was pretty upset about the way they formulated that headline. I thought that it should have been corrected, requested corrections. Haven't seen it happen yet. So that's number one. But there is a silver lining here, Chris. It's almost like the internet is developing antibodies to some of the crazy stuff, because what we saw, the headline drops, predictable, all the usual suspects rush in, take advantage of it, take the story where it didn't go. But then you saw something different. You actually saw some sane voices, some people pushing back. And by this morning, it felt like a lot of the zaniness had been muted. Of course, some people are not going to hear basic arguments or common sense, but it did feel like there was a bit of a detente, and that was a first in some of these waves that we've seen. And so I'm actually pretty encouraged about the developments. And like I said, it feels like we're almost building up antibodies to this, and people are getting their courage to speak out and speak some of the truth, whereas before we just, we saw this stuff run rampant.
It's pretty interesting to call shills antibodies. That's an interesting word for shill. I've never heard anybody refer to a shill as an antibody before. That's very, very inventive, to say the least. At least Chris Cuomo didn't talk that much, but then Andrew did, and it's like, oh, okay. But you see what I mean? That type of thing, like, oh, this daily, he's just talking about the headline. So Daily Mail kind of did do a little bit disservice, because everybody was able to just grab onto the headline and say, this isn't true. I showed you examples, people saying like, this is fake news, this is cancerous, the Daily Mail should be banned from X. All very blue-haired talking points coming from the right, as we've talked about extensively. Fox making sure to go with this. This is literally like their fifth post saying this exact thing. Because this is the talking point they want people to go with. Unable to identify is not the same as ruled out. They're going to keep on doing that because they want you to have a talking point. Luckily, we had Candace, who also wanted you to have a talking point. That is why she did this. She said, she even brought it up. She's like, we're doing this so like when you have to talk about this with people, you can actually talk about it properly. And I think that point that she made is the biggest point, hands down. But like I said, and also, just to remember what Andrew Colvett just said, just remember, he's the guy that said this. The bullet was found. He did find the bullet beneath the skin. What? And then Valhalla VFT stepped in. I mean, this is like way back when this first came out. He's like, there's no way this happened. He started Valhalla VFT had to go to the grocery store and buy beef and calf legs and pieces of steel and start hitting it with 30-06s to show you exactly how this all works. Say what you want about him. He does have that expertise. Right there he is right there. Look at him. Look at him. You know what I think? You guys ever heard the channel Liberal Hive Mind? Listen to Liberal Hive Mind and then listen to Valhalla VFT. I think he's Liberal Hive Mind. I do. And if you are not, or if you are, you should have told me, because I wouldn't have said that out loud. But that's what I think. But I'm going to play this little clip quickly.
They cannot even prove that the gun was fired. Say it again. They cannot even prove that the gun was fired. Why is the media not telling you this? Have you guys realized that there's a big piece missing from the evidence? Where is the basic GSR test? Okay. testing to see if you fired a weapon. It's a test that like they put some stuff on, then it turns your hands, purple or bluish purple under the light, GSR test. Did they conduct that 33 hours later to see if Tyler Robinson had fired a weapon? Right? They could have actually brought in a bomb dog for that. No, they didn't do that. You remember the bomb dogs went into the field where the weapon was found. I broke that story and they didn't find the weapon. That is literally impossible. It's literally impossible. There's no one that will get up there and tell you anything different that a trained bomb dog, if they are taken into a field where there's a gun that is sitting that was recently fired, they will find the dog. They will find the gun. But apparently the bomb dogs missed it. And the gun that was eventually found, which my sources say they are convinced that the feds planted it when they arrived, was not fired on September 10th. Okay? If it were, and they knew Tyler Robinson fired it, they would have taken the bomb dogs, had them smell the dog, they would have had them smell the weapon, find the weapon, smell the person, and tell you that is connected to him. The canines would have done that for them. They didn't do that. And the last thing I want to reiterate to you before we get into what these filings reveal is that there are a bunch of frauds right now that are telling you that they found Tyler Robinson's DNA on the gun, okay? What they keep conveniently leaving out is that they found a total of 6 sets of prints on the gun. It is not shocking that Tyler Robinson's gun had Tyler Robinson's prints on it. That's not shocking. The question is, who took Robinson's gun and placed it into the field unfired? That's where we are at in this case. And so the big news yesterday was that the bullet, which has now been conveniently reduced to a fragment, happened very quickly over a couple of days, has come back, and the ATF has concluded that they can't connect to the gun. It's inconclusive. And now the prosecution wants the corrupt FBI to conduct their own analysis. And I'm going to tell you what is very wrong with that, because I think it's pretty clear that the feds are working with Turning Point USA, and all evidence points to the fact that the feds are dirty in this case. Like I said, I have spoken to SWAT, local police departments, sources close to the accused, UVU students, people that work at UVU. Everyone is saying the feds are a part of a broader conspiracy. And based on the evidence I am seeing and based on these filings, which I am about to show you, I believe that.
Oh, man. Really interesting. Really interesting stuff. Now, I let that run a little long. I was just focusing on the firearm not being fired. And she's talking about bomb dogs. Now, what a lot of people will tell you is that Candace doesn't know anything about bomb dogs, and what they can sniff out and what they can't sniff out. But that's why I had this picture of Valhalla up, because he was actually on Ballistic Tones' show. Okay. Still love him, but he was on Ballistic Tones' show. Not a friend of the show. Balix, Valhalla is. But, he was on there and he was like, I have extensive experience with these types of dogs. He's like, they would 100%. He's saying exactly what Candace was saying. Candace is saying it based on, what she is learning, right? He's saying it based on his actual experience. So I just had to include that little tidbit in there. And we give him a little play. Why not?
What they have to say now. If I had to,
I had it on triple speed, okay, right? Because I'm a genius.
to guess, they're all going to be real fucking silent on this one. Again, now where are we at? Well, we're at a point where we've never seen a single photo of Tyler Robinson with the Magic 30-06, whether headed to the roof or leaving the roof. And now we can't even match the bullet inside Charlie to the Magic 30-06. Yikes. And what's the other problem? All those people who've been attacking Candace Owens and me and Ian Carroll and everybody that's been doing coverage on this. Well, again, you've got some explaining to do. Candace says here, where are all my neocons who have been overwhelmed by the non-existent evidence against Tyler Robinson? You should all be ashamed of yourselves. Hope the money was worth your soul. And the other part no one wants to discuss, that about 7 sets of fingerprints were found on the gun, which the bomb dogs did not find, which means it never fired at all, obviously. So again, guys, this completely upheaves the entire story now, right? Now we know what we already suspected was that, again, the supposed 30-06 that was used never made sense to begin with. So what was used? Well, we got some interesting things going on here because all the different theories, right? Palm gun theories, you got the FBI narrative, you got exploding microphones, you got electrocution. Well, Okay, well, it sounds like there is a bullet inside of Charlie, which means there was some type of round fired, which may rule out a lot of the niche theories, but also now we're looking at a situation where there was most likely or almost guaranteed to be a second shooter. And man, that's going to complicate things greatly, isn't it? So this raises a lot of questions, also debunks a lot of things. So it's going to be very, very interesting going forward to see what comes out of this case. So will the trial get extended out so that, again, the defense can attempt to get all the charges dropped before they even go to trial? I'm not sure. I don't think the prosecution is going to let this one go. I think they're going to try to take it to trial and just pray for the best, pray that they can get a conviction without real evidence, which may be possible because they'll be in Utah and it's probably not going to be a jury of his peers. But again, it's going to be very, very, very difficult to convict Tyler Robinson now with this lack of evidence. But again, this was just for an update. Make sure you come by tonight, 5.
Man, a second shoot. And here's the thing. The reason I wanted to play that really quick is because when he brings up a second shooter, now, I wish I could just find the video offhand. Lance, if you're here, try and find a video. There's a video, and I can't give you any information on it, other than the Valhalla VFT shows a diagram of how Charlie Kirk got hit. This video must be from like months ago because he makes a lot of content like I do. It must be from months ago. He shows a diagram that if Tyler took the shot from the Losi Center, like everybody says, he shows that the round would have hit somewhere around here. Now, the reason that he says somewhere around here and not somewhere around there is because he talks about the C2. I don't want to talk too out of school, but he's talking about like the C2, C4, and he's talking about how these vertebrae got damaged because of the hit and possible fragmentation, but they got like destroyed. But he was saying how it's like if the C2 got demolished, he would have got hit here. So he was actually showing just based on like the shot, the line of sight. He was showing that the shot must have came from lower to hit Charlie from where it did. And that is very, very interesting. So I don't know how to find that video. If somebody finds that video and they're like on X or something like that, someone said, I need prayers. I pray for you. Super happy, fun smile. Praying for you. In Jesus' name. Someone said Valhalla's drunk all the time. No, he's not. Lance says I'll hunt for you. Yeah, it's a very hard video to find. I don't know what it's called at all. It must have been from like, I don't know, 3 months ago. I'm like in the 4-month right now, trying to look and see if I can find it. It's really hard to tell where this would be, this video. But it's a video where he actually shows, is this it? The autopsy doesn't work? This might be it. I might have found it. Kind of
an interesting theory, but let's talk about that.
It's exactly
right. Now we're talking about body armor.
Okay, it's exactly where I left off, so it must be the video. Okay, check this out. So when he brings up a second shooter, it's interesting that he brings that up. Literally 5 months ago. Yeah, this must be the video. So 5 months ago, he actually talked about this. So I hope he actually gets back to this. If he's saying that there was a second shooter and he's like, playing out that theory in his mind now, he should go back to this and start analyzing this a lot more. So listen to this.
This could have taken place. Okay, so let's talk about a few. All right, so I've seen a bunch of different people talking about now, because of this report, this has to prove that Charlie Kirk had body armor, because again, it's an impossible shot. It's an impossible angle that it didn't hit him in the face, which, okay, that's kind of an interesting theory, but let's talk about that. All right. Now we're talking about body armor, which again is going to be down here on the chest. Again, 9-degree slope. This is still where the shot came from. Here's the entrance wound. Okay, let's talk about the possibility that the bullet refracted off his body armor. First, let's also make sure that we acknowledge it's been disproven he had body armor on. And not only that, TPUSA has publicly stated he had no body armor on. So if you're going to operate under the assumption he has body armor on, you are calling TPUSA nefarious liars. I'm not prepared to do that, because why would they purposefully lie about him having body armor on? That seems bizarre to me. But hypothetically, TPUSA is lying about this and he had body armor on. Let's look at it. Now we're still talking about a 30-06 round, okay? A 30-06 round that supposedly comes down, hits him in the body armor, which, by the way, if he had body armor on so small that you couldn't see it through that tiny little shirt, it wouldn't be strong enough to stop a 30-06 round to begin with, but we're in hypothetics here. That then, okay, this almost makes me laugh doing this. That then refracts off the body armor, comes all the way up here at a 90-degree angle to hit this C2, and then re-refracts straight back down to the T1. Guys, bullets are not pinballs. They don't do this, okay? They refract and do weird things as they move through, but changing total direction in almost 180 degrees is not possible. This is Newtonian physics says that's not a thing, okay? So again, I mean, even Rob O'Neill talks about body armor here, and it's actually what he talks about here is interesting because it actually is going to bring us into the next possibility.
But that was not an injury wound that we saw. We saw an exit wound. So where'd that bullet come from? You don't bleed like, and I've shot guys closer than the camera was. And an entry wound doesn't look like that. An exit wound does. Why did his shirt move the way it did? When I've shot people, their shirts didn't move like that. And then the initial reaction was, well, he was obviously wearing body armor and it was deflection. One, no. He wasn't wearing body armor. And two, it doesn't deflect like that off of body armor. Why was his shirt moving from right to left? Why were people being interviewed saying, yeah, they came from my left to right, from his right to left, immediately shut down?
Okay, so interesting. Yeah, the idea that we'll talk about rounds too, because people say, well, it depends on the round, the 30-06 round. The idea that body armor, that blasts off body armor, goes straight up, hits his neck, comes straight back down. It's not a thing. It's not physically possible, regardless of what anybody wants to tell you. Okay.
Someone just said something about blunt trauma to the neck, which is why it's like C2 down to T1 type of stuff. I don't know. Frank was in there doing CPR, right? He was doing some things. Brian was doing a bunch of things. Harpole, he was doing a bunch of things. That didn't leave any blood on his hands. So who knows? Whoever would have done that would have had blood all over their hands. If, in that realm. Let's keep listening.
Based off of based off of the medical examiner report's injury, is it possible that a round refracts off body armor at an angle and comes up into his neck? Sure, but not at that extreme angle, and then definitely isn't reversing 180 degrees and keeping its velocity. It's just not how things work. All right, guys, before we jump back into that video, got to give a shout out to today's sponsor, our partners at Barbell Apparel, who make the
Barbell Apparel. So that is his breakdown there. I think that's it. Does he keep going? Oh, no, he does keep going. Okay, so let's keep going. Shout out to his sponsor, but only if they want to sponsor my show. So let's keep going.
This. Again, we know he supposedly gets hit in the C2 first by the medical examiner's report. Well, let's look at that. We know where the actual wound is, which is here. Okay, well, we know it can't have come from that slope. Again, it goes straight through his teeth. Not a thing, unless his head was like literally all the way back. So what would it?
So that's an important thing. So when he says that, he's talking about the initial shot that they're saying. This is what I was trying to explain to you guys before I started playing this video. This is exactly what it would have looked like, right? That would have been what it looked like. So it's very, very odd, very odd. So I really think, I'm watching this. I can comprehend what he's talking about, but I think he should go back to this drawing board and start thinking about this. And then there's other people who are really into the location of everything. And I don't know. Actually, I probably do know a couple people who are focused in on the location. Somebody should be, even I did a little video. I can show you guys that after, but someone should be who's focused on the location, and then him focused on this should be coming together and trying to figure out where the shot came from if there was a second shooter. But now all of a sudden those conversations are open again because the Bureau has and the prosecution, they have really fumbled this. But maybe it's for the best because maybe Tyler didn't let that off. And I'm not even in the camp of like, oh, Tyler should walk. I'm not in that camp at all. But I mean, we should know what really happened.
It take for this round to have hit him where it hit him as an entrance wound and hit him in the C2 first? We can find that out pretty easily. We can start at the C2. We can come down with our angle here. And we can see that it actually would take a 38-degree upward angle for this to have potentially hit him where it hit him and then also hit the C2 first if he was shot from the front. Does that make a whole lot of sense? Well, maybe if the tunnel theory works. I don't know. That one seemed weird at the time. And then also keep in mind, the round still has to travel then straight back down, which bullets don't do. They don't do this, okay, guys? You would expect a bullet to refract out this way, refract up this way. It's not going to reverse this massive direction back the other way, okay? So I'll make it very clear. If he was shot from the front, in the location he was shot, and it hit him in the C2 first, it had to have come from an upward angle. It could not have come from a 9-degree downward slope. It's not anatomically possible. But this makes other theories actually possible. Now, the really popular theory that Rob O'Neill just talked about, and Range Day Bros talked about, a lot of people have talked about, which I have not discounted at all, have talked about him being shot from up and behind him. This is very interesting because this actually, besides one little piece, which is that they found around inside of him, this actually potentially makes the medical examiner.
See, they found the round inside of him. See, this is 5 months ago when Andrew Colvett said that and everybody thought that. But now it's not true. I would love to hear him go back into this, like this whole thing, right? And then also, because it's 5 months ago, like up and behind him kind of doesn't work because Candace did show the behind footage. Now, where would that hit? Maybe he'll explain that right now, because we definitely know it didn't hit from the back because Candace showed that footage and there was no entry or even blood or anything from the back. So
report work with the injury and ballistics that all potentially work. Let's take a look at that. The C2 is going to be just behind the jaw there, as we've seen it, right? Now, if he gets shot from the back upper right, and again, we don't know what that angle would be because this is all hypothetical, right? We don't know where that shooter was, but anywhere you would think around the way the buildings were, they're all about that height, anywhere from like a 10 to maybe 15-degree angle here. Now, all of a sudden, if he's getting shot in the back right of the head that comes beneath the skull, anatomically, this actually works. It comes in the back underneath his skull, hits him in the C2, and then blows out at a normal refraction angle exactly where we expect to see the exit wound in this case. That actually works perfectly, ballistically, anatomically, to have created that initial impact into the C2. It probably blows down here through the C4, does some damage through C5, C6, through C7 through cavitation. The biggest issue here is this is an exit wound, which means there would be no bullet found inside Charlie's body. That goes against the medical examiner's report. All right, and then there's one final potential here. And
if something fragments, does that mean there could be nothing that comes out of that exit wound? I have no idea. I don't know things to that extent. This also touches on a theory that a lot of people have had where they start analyzing his hair. People are really like looking like they're kind of like repeating the whole scenario over and over again, and his hair kind of moves. I feel like that could happen if you move really fast. I don't know much about having hair, but I could imagine if you had that kind of hair, you move and your hair moves a little bit. Like if you move real fast, like you know, Blake Neff speed fast, then that could happen. Funny because Blake's bald as well. But you know what I mean. So it touches on there, but we didn't see anything like that. Especially, would that be visible from the video that Candace showed us from the back? I think so. I think you'd see something like that. So I guess that doesn't touch on it either. I think what makes the most sense right now, and this is something he touched on in his new video, is that there could be a second person. That could be a possibility. I saw someone said they don't like a show until after the show. Sweet Sassy. I'm going to see if you stick around to the end of the show, because that's a bold statement to make. So you're going to be with us for another almost 2 hours, 2 hours and 10 minutes. Interesting. Very, very interesting, Sweet Sassy. Anyway, I'm gonna look out for you. Say bye when I'm saying bye. I'd love to see you here. Anyway, you know. So that's that. Oh, he does show a little bit more. Okay. Let's go into the little bit more that he has here.
And that was actually brought forward by Peak Prosperity. This is a fantastic video if you haven't seen it either. And he actually had the theory that the shot came from technically the front, but from a much more drastic angle, almost like a 45-degree angle. So we can look at that here too. All right, now, so this theory states that it must have come from a far more horizontal angle, right? It's because the front angle doesn't work at all, which I agree with, to come maybe up underneath the jaw. Even then, it's going to be tough where this comes to get to the C2. I don't think you do. I still think you get in the C4, but to cause the actual damage at a much more steep angle, now all of a sudden, the refraction, as this comes in and comes through here, the refraction comes down and potentially works that way. That's actually a bullet refraction that makes sense. All right, but then the biggest problem we have with this is then this probably doesn't hit him in the C2 either. So where are we left? What's the problem? Well, the problem is that the official narrative with Tyler Robinson, where he took the shot from the angle he took the shot, like I told you at the start of the video, with the type of weapon that he used, is not possible and does not match the medical examiner's report anatomically or.
So, this last theory that he just brought up made me think of Frank Turek. I don't know. I showed it to you guys Thursday, maybe Friday. I showed you a video of Frank Turek, and he's talking to this older lady. I'm going to see if I can find it. Lance, if you can find it, post it on X and tag me in it, because I'm going to be on X right now. So there's this video, Frank Turek talking with this older lady. And she's talking about these people who are at the side of him. And she is saying, she's basically like, she doesn't want to just outright say it. She's just a regular lady. And she's kind of like, there's something going on here. For Lance, for reference, Ali Files is the one that posted it. That's where we would find it for sure. So she doesn't really want to say it out loud. She doesn't want to say, I think there was another shooter or came from another place. She doesn't want to say that because she doesn't really know how to say that. She's just an older lady who's just trying to just say her piece. And Frank is kind of shutting her down quite a bit for no reason other than, I don't know, something to hide maybe. I have no idea. I'm trying to find it right now. There it is. Boom. Found it. Okay, great. Perfect. Let me show you guys this. Because that kind of touches on the other theory. Am I saying that this theory checks out? But I'm saying the only reason I'm bringing it up is because it kind of checks out in regards to where that last theory he brought up of where the shot actually came from. Because she's saying the exact same thing here. Here, let me see. Hope you guys remember this. If not, here it is.
So, a bit nervous here. The best witnesses of Christ raising from the dead were the people that were there.
Yes.
I was there. A lot of us were there. I think we're the greatest witnesses.
Of Charlie's murder, you mean?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
At Charlie's assassination.
Yes.
I only have one, like the Gospels. I'm just one person.
Uh-huh.
But when it started, it was very difficult to hear because
I could hardly hear him. I was 25 feet from him. Of course, the speaker wasn't near me.
Well,
it was pointing out, but I agree, yeah.
For us, I was...
Why so aggressive? I could barely hear him. I was 25 feet from him. Okay? I agree, but I'm just saying, okay. You okay, man? You okay? You hiding something?
Kind of right in the middle, only to the side of Charlie. But there was a group to your left, to my right, over there, that from my standpoint looks like a community of very strong dislikers of Charlie.
Yeah, there were some protesters, yes.
I would say there was 40, minimum 40, and they held huge signs. Huge signs, and they were, to me, they seemed to be LGBTQ community.
Okay.
So after it was over, and very disturbing, and we're all shaken, and trying to follow the news media and having the cameras just fanning and like panoramic. The community that was over there was grass, like they were gone. I followed a lot, and
So right there. So that would be the angle. This is the last angle that Valhalla was bringing up here. This would make sense. So this is the people at the top. There was a bunch of people, if you can't see my cursor here, there's a bunch of people here with signs around here, I believe. And then there were people up here. I'm pretty sure this is what they're showing. And this is on the side he got shot. I'm pretty sure.
I followed a lot, and it's hard to think that anything is really true of what goes on because of the media when it fans the whole area and watches people leaving, scrambling and frantic, and that area is grass.
Were they in a position to escape immediately?
No, it was before and even after.
Okay, so I'm sorry, I've got a big long line. What's the main point you're getting at?
I just wondered, did you see those people? I mean, I think it's a part of.
I think, as I understand it, that protesters were moved just before Charlie got there. I think that's what I was told. Maybe that's not right.
No, it's not right because I couldn't hear because we're like, oh, that group needs to chill.
Okay,
out.
so where are you going with this?
I'm just wondering if other people saw it, or was it only me?
Saying they didn't do anything. There was no shot that came from them. Okay. There was no shot. Everybody I talked to yesterday, in fact, Hunter was at the microphone when it happened, came from behind you, right? Yeah.
Well, yeah. I thought the shot came.
No, I don't think so.
That's
okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
That's amazing. That's amazing. You know why? Because the person he turns to for confirmation is Hunter Kozak, who hates Charlie Kirk. Doesn't hate him, but joined an organization called Un-F America, where they would literally stalk Charlie Kirk events so they could antagonize him and debate with him constantly. So maybe not hate, but, definitely didn't like the guy all that much. And that's who Frank turns to for a little confirmation. Also, he says there's no shot that came from that side. That's not what the lady asked. It didn't even seem like she was gearing up to ask that. She was just kind of like, she doesn't know, right? She's not a commentator. She's just a lady that was there. She doesn't know how to bring this type of thing up. She's a normal lady, right? Older lady. Somebody asked if she goes to college. No, this is just a room full of witnesses. Frank decided to have a room full of witnesses who saw what happened to make sure they understood what they saw that day. That's what he's doing here. Okay? Why? Because some of them could, maybe, possibly be asked to testify. So it's better, and I didn't even realize this when I first showed you guys, so it's better that they understand from his point of view and Hunter Kozak's exactly what took place. Weird stuff. Very, very weird stuff. Yeah, and the video's 333. I didn't do it. I didn't do that. That's not me. That's not me that did that, okay? I'm not responsible for that. Oh, they're on to us. They're on Mr. Wachuka. They're on to us. Mr. Wachuka. They're on to us. Yeah, that's crazy. But yeah. So that kind of touches on what Valhalla was saying near the end there. We got kind of sidetracked, I'm going to be honest with you, but I like going deep into this stuff, when there's a room to. But that is the Candace recap, ladies and gentlemen. Very weird. Warren Commission vibes. Yep. Someone said Frank is so fake. Yeah, he's very, very fake. He's a very, very fake man. He's not, I'm telling you, he's not what he seems. Yeah, I have a friend that I respect. He watches the show. I love him. I think I'm I gave my life to Christ in front of this guy. He was the one I did it in front of. He's a great guy, great man. First church I ever went to, right? But he was like, oh, Frank, he's on fire for the Lord, and he's really, really, he's good and a good guy. He was bringing that up like when I first started like talking about Frank Turek, and I was like, I don't think you realize who this guy is, right? From the spiritual, from the Christian side, you could look at him as that. But when you look with the mixed in with the military, and he just doesn't know what he doesn't know, right? But when you see what they've been doing, and then he's associated with Rob McCoy, and the timing of when he comes into Charlie's life, and I don't know, man. He's not exactly what he seems. He seems like he's something else completely. So who knows? But yeah, that was that. I think Candace is demolishing this case by just reading what is in the actual filings. That's it. That's how she's demolishing the case. That's why there's hundreds of people freaking out about Candace Owens, right? Of course, I have to show you before we get to Officer Tatum, because we got to play some Officer Tatum. I'm so sad he got rid of that voicemail. I saw the number. It was like 438. I'm just going to save it. I should have wrote down that number, man. Should have wrote it down. Telling you. I don't know why I didn't do that. Oh, I'll regret that forever. Are you kidding me? No regrets in life other than not writing down Officer Tatum's voicemail number. Oh, you have no idea. It would have been a daily segment of me leaving voicemails for Officer Tatum live on the show. Would have been the first thing. Would have been top of the docket every single episode. Oh, it would have been so good. But you have guys like this. This is why they're flipping out. Candace just read what was in it. That's all she did. And now Candace is a cancer, a demon walking amongst us. She makes me physically ill. Sounds like you're in love. I get butterflies in my stomach when I see that Candace Owens. Oh, my heart just goes aflutter. Oh, goodness. Oh. And I truly believe she will face judgment for what she's doing. I pray for her eternal soul. I mean, just a liar, right? I mean, definitely doesn't pray for her. You know, she's going to face judgment. Sounds like a threat coming from someone that works for the Department of Defense, right? Just that's what we're seeing. We're seeing a whole lot of that. A whole lot of she's a demon because she read a thing and showed people exactly what's being said and what's not being said. But the voice of reason comes in. Even just right here, be patient. Let it go to trial. That's how justice actually works. Okay, sure. Why didn't he say that when the president was running and he was about to go to trial? Why didn't he say that with that in that case? That's weird. Why wasn't he like, just let him go? He is orange and he is big and he will be able to handle this when it goes to trial. Just let it go to trial. This is how justice works, y'all. He didn't do that. Why? Because there was some kind of injustice he felt like was being done. So he made sure not to wait until trial. He made sure to talk about it all the time because he thought something wrong was happening. Interesting. Maybe that's why people are talking about this case right now. Tyler Robinson, Charlie Kirk case. But let's play this.
I want the person who killed Charlie Kirk to be brought to justice and put to death. That's what I want.
I am a Bible-loving Christian, and all I want to see is a warm-blooded body go cold in front of me. I want to see the lifeless body. That's all I'm looking for. As a good-hearted Christian, I just want to see the young man, okay, that I'm kind of sure, kind of not sure, depending on who pays me, is guilty of what he has done, okay? So I just want to see his lifeless body on screen for all of us to see. It's just what God would want, you understand? That's just how God works, y'all. So it's crazy y'all don't want to wait for trial. I just want to see a lifeless body.
I don't think that there's many people out there that want justice more than I do. Maybe his wife and his mom and daddy, maybe.
Maybe. Look at his face. I love Officer Tatum. Officer Talmud reporting for service. I love this guy. He is the best. He is the best. There is not many people who want to see justice for Charlie more than me. Maybe his wife. Maybe his mama and dada. But not more than me. I am just leaps ahead of Erica in terms of wanting justice. What are you talking about? Were you dating him on the side? What are you saying right now? Officer, he's so crazy. Oh, he's such a cartoon character. It's like an SNL skit every single time. It's like an SNL. I pray he gets big enough that SNL makes fun of him. I pray they do it, and someone does it in blackface. I can't wait.
They want justice more, I would assume. But there is no way in the world that I would overlook, that I would not be open-minded to things that contradict what has already been put out there. Let's make something really clear, and I want you guys to listen to me on this. Quit listening to these people that just want to get clicks. The FBI, local law enforcement, is not allowed to release certain information. When you are a person, I'm gonna give you an example. Breonna Taylor. I knew almost everything about Breonna Taylor before it ever hit the news. But I never shared it because I did not want to compromise the case. I let them file the case. I let it go to trial. I let it go to court or whatever the case it be. Then I released it.
Well, how did he have all that information? This guy's a low IQ podcaster. How does he have all the information? Let's be frank. Come on, let's be frank here, okay? How does he have all the information? How does that work? Is he saying he has all the information now when it comes to Tyler Robinson's case? Why would he have all the information? That's crazy. That's insane. That's who they gave it to? Not Candace, not Barron, but Officer Tatum? Guy's wearing an Operation Epic Fury t-shirt. I mean, oh my gosh. I love the guy. I want to do a podcast with him. I think he and I should do a podcast together every week. Once a week, every single week. And we just talk about things. I really think we should.
Because I didn't want to compromise. So if there's anybody that's claiming that they got information about the case and you find them disclosing information about the case through sources, that person is making a grave mistake. And that person does not care about the trial. They care about what their image look like and being correct. If you get information in a case like this, you keep it to yourself until they go to trial. And then you can begin to disclose the information that you had when they're in trial because there's no turning back. You don't do it before the trial because you can cause a mistrial. And then somebody can draw in the question, what information do you have? And then they can draw in the question, well, we need your electronic communications because have you been communicating with investigators and information has been disclosed to you that's not being disclosed to the defense or being disclosed to the prosecution?
So is he saying that at some point with Breonna Taylor and possibly with Tyler Robinson, that they were unethically sharing information with him and it's okay because he didn't say anything? Is he like what is he trying to do with this video? Is he trying to like give people a pep talk on what to do and not do in order to make sure Tyler Robinson goes to jail and sees the death penalty? Is that what he's trying to do right now? This is very weird what he's doing right now. Because then you could have a mistrial. And a mistrial, as much as it sounds like a nice thing, there is a trial and there is a mistrial. Now, you want your trial to say trialized. You don't want your trial to go to mistrial. Because if it mistrials, that is a bad thing, okay? And then we don't get the justice that I want more for Charlie than his mama and dada. You understand? And Erica, I assume. So as I'm perusing through all the information, because I am inside the FBI headquarters, I was helping Cash Patel wash the honey off of his body. And I was just looking at all the information. I tell you, there's a mountain. There is a great mountain of information. I could not even go through it as I perused. It was just too much, too many rooms of information and evidence. Y'all don't understand. So who's ever talking about sources, and he's talking about Candace, obviously. Obviously, he's talking about Candace when he says this. 100%. Who else could he be talking about? I haven't really heard Barron talk about sources he has close to Tyler Robinson. I haven't heard that from Barron, really. He might. I have no idea. But I've only heard Candace say that. Candace said that in this episode she just made. Right? She said that in the episode before as well. He just made this video yesterday at 4 p.m. So, very weird. Very weird. Because all they're doing is this, and Billy and Brandy also talked about sources, but they literally disclosed like they were close to the family. They spoke with someone from the family, don't want to disclose who that is, but they talked about what they were told for the most part, right? But that's what people in journalism, in media, that's what they do. They have sources and they say, my sources have told me. They don't go, well, I have sources and my sources have told me something that the public should know, but I shouldn't tell the public until after the trial. That's not how that goes. Because if they're going to uncover something, then they want to uncover it before the trial to avoid any type of injustice happening. Why do I have to explain this to this guy? You know? It's amazing. Look at his face. He's so serious. He's so serious. There's no one, not Gary, not Graham Allen, not Dan, there's no one who is consistently as wrong and confident as Officer Tatum. There's no one. You will not find this person. There's no one who's consistent. And I don't know. I guess it's with a lot of topics, you know? I guess it's with a lot of topics he's wrong, but this one especially. And then also the attacking of Candace, she just read what's available to everybody. They said, here's the 28 pages. And she said, okay, bet. Let's go through them. That's it. That's cancerous. That's potentially a mistrial. That's the big problem. Listen to a little bit more because this guy's great. Friend of the show. Officer Tatum, friend of the show, associate even.
And then you find yourself involved in a trial. And you may end up committing or causing a mistrial in a situation where a guy is guilty as the noonday sun. Or it's clear that he's guilty as the noonday sun. I'll say this as well. People have these...
Hold on. Did he say as wrong as the noonday sun? Did he say that? Are those the words he used? Hold on a second.
Sun. I'll say this, that he's guilty as the noonday sun.
As the noonday sun? What does that even mean? As the noonday sun? Lance, you're from Louisiana. You must have a tap in on this type of patois here that he's putting out to me. What on earth does that mean? Anyway, let's keep going.
I'll say this as well. People have these conspiracy theories in their mind that the FBI is not telling us everything. Of course they're not telling you everything. They cannot tell you everything. This is an investigation. They have to win at trial. They're not here to tickle your fancy on a podcast. That's not their job. I did this for a living. I know what information that we didn't ever put out to the media and we never put out to the people because it was a part of an investigation that we could not compromise. And some people want them to compromise a case.
Why is he saying we? Wasn't he a podcaster during Breonna Taylor? I'm positive he was. I am positive, y'all. I'm as positive as the noonday sun. What's he talking about? Are these guys just admitting they're operatives? I remember, what's her name? Joy Reid once said that. She goes, I was talking with my Democrat operatives. And I was like, did she just say that out loud? I'm like, no one's questioning that. What is he saying right now? How deep is this guy? Is he a podcaster or not? What's happening? They're just admitting it now? You're going to see like, hi, hey guys, what's going on? This is Timcast IRL. I am your officer, Tim Pool. I am an agent. Let me tell you exactly what's been told by me from the Pentagon themselves. This is what I am approved to say, and this is what you're approved to know. Is that how it's going to start going? Just left and right? This is Ballistic Tones. I just want to talk to everybody right now. I was just talking with the Pentagon. Pete Hegseth told me I'm allowed to say this. Is that how it's going to go from now on? Okay, fine. I'm going to give this 30 more seconds.
Where they have Charlie Kirk's killer. Some people want Charlie Kirk's killer to get off. They cannot release this information to you because it could be damaging. The same reason why the defense team is not releasing all the information they have, because they don't want to taint the jury pool. And this is why they don't want the case to be public. Let me finish this. I think Tyler Robinson killed Charlie Kirk. Now, could somebody have been behind, encouraging him, indoctrinating him, giving him resources to do it? That could be a possibility.
Is it possible that somebody could have possibly had him on top of the roof and someone else took the shot? I mean, all these things are possible. Is it possible that he wasn't even there? I mean, that's a possibility. But the thing is, what I'm hoping for is to see his lifeless body on the screen so I can know justice is served. You understand? My main concern is Tyler Robinson take the blame for all this, and I want a trial, not a mistrial. And I want to make sure Israel never has to take any blame for all of this. That is all I'm saying to y'all. Anyway, that's enough, Officer Tatum, for one day. Absolutely the best. Nobody wants justice for Charlie more than me. Charlie has parents. He has a family. He has a family. You guys had a business relationship. What are you talking about? Nobody wants justice for Charlie more than I do. Charlie used to give me monies. You understand? And it has been so hard to acquire monies. He used to pay the business that is owned by the other business. He used to pay me those monies. And it was glorious. So that is, nobody wants the justice more than I do. Not his wife, not his mama, not his daddy. Anyway. My kid's going to hear me saying dad. Kid's going to go off. Kid's going, your black accent is terrible. Oh, man. It's so funny. I love it. I love it. It's the most fun impression that I get to do. Yeah. They're not all fun. Let's see. D. Anderson was sharing some stuff with me here. Let's see what D. Anderson is trying to share with me. So he's saying this guy's definitely a spook. The person that he's referring to is Mike Mitchell. So Mike Mitchell, this is him. This is like an older picture of him. We have some other pictures of him. I forget who sent me these pictures. Let me see. I have to read this. I hope my brother's watching. I know this is my brother. I know Black Poppy doesn't fly with me. Black is black, and talking about black on black racism is confusing. If one party was white, I could understand, but I don't believe that. Oh, what conversation are we? We're having a conversation about the Bible right now, and that's what he throws at me. Okay, I got to respond to that afterwards. Sorry, Andrew. I gotta keep doing this. So crazy. Okay. So basically, this is what he's shown me about this Mike Mitchell person. If you don't remember, Mike Mitchell is supposedly the retired Washington sheriff that at some point turned in Tyler Robinson. Now, if you're watching, the person who has sent me information about the sheriff, please hit me again, because I think that I do not see it anymore. Someone sent me a current picture of this guy. It was at his retirement, and I believe the post was on Facebook. So if you are that person, please hit me up again, because I did not get to save it yesterday, and I am not seeing it in my direct messages here. I will look for that more after, but let's look deeper into this for now. So this is the guy who supposedly turned in Tyler Robinson. Let's see here. Michael P. Smith, pleased to announce Michael E. Mitchell, son of Edna. You see that? Edna Mitchell and the late Jerry Mitchell of Las Vegas, Nevada. The couple will be married at St. George LDS Temple. Family and friends are invited to a reception held Friday, January 10th, 1997. Okay. All right, so we have that first image. What else are you showing me here, D. Anderson? Friend of the show. D. Anderson's been throwing a lot of information at me for a while. Doing good work. I don't know if you have a YouTube channel. I'll check after. Micah Smith, happy to announce their baby girl. Okay, so you have a bunch of information here, like going deep into the family. Grandparents, Paul Smith and Mrs. J. Ira Gardner. Okay. What else you got? Let's see here. That I cannot read. Let me see here. That I cannot read. I will give me the gist of that. So you're showing me all his family. We need information on him. Oh, okay. This is information on him. Michael Smith, 1973, American Fork. 16th August, 1973. Publication place, Utah, USA. Leah Free Press. Child, Brock Michael Smith. Okay. So I need the information that's gonna. Wow, you have a long thread here, boy. Okay. Let me see here. Edna Mitchell. All right. Let's get that off the screen. Edna for So I need the information that shows that he could be a spook. Now I know you had the LDS thing there, so that makes sense because Tyler, it is said in the original story of that whole thing is that they had a connection through the church. I just want to know more about his actual service background. Where did he actually serve? If it's within what Rob McCoy served in, that would be great knowledge to have. I only throw Rob McCoy out there because he has a lot of experience in like psychological operations. So did his father. His father's connected to Paul E. Vallely. So that would be a really interesting thing to know. I just want to know if he is military intel at all, if he has a past of that at all before he was a sheriff, or even coinciding, like, you know. So that would be cool to know. So we are trying to find information about this Mike Mitchell guy. It is hard to find. Even Lance wasn't able to find much of it. But that's just our little update there. We'll update you more as time goes on with that character. Because I want to know. I really want to know what's going on with that guy. Because if you're the one that turned him in and all of a sudden the footage is gone and you evaporate and, you know, Nate Brooksby, the guy who just retired after this whole thing was announced, he resigns, and he actually says, Candace showed us, he said in a speech, like, he's like, oh, I didn't want to say his name. He's kind of sorry that his name got put out there. And it's like, why? He's a hero. That guy's a hero. Why shouldn't his name be out there? Somebody did something to Charlie Kirk, allegedly Tyler Robinson, and this guy finds Tyler and says, listen, no weapons, no aggression, nothing. I just need you to do XYZ. Come with me. And he goes. Only after 33 hours? This guy's a hero. We should know all sorts of things about him. But I just want to know his service. That's what I want to know. I don't want to know where he lives. I don't want to know. I don't even want to know who he's married to. I don't want to know all that. I just want to know what he's done, what his background looks like. We have Rob McCoy, ladies and gentlemen. Rob McCoy has been touring around like he usually does. This is just a little segment for the cronies. So we got Rob McCoy and Gary here. But we'll start with Rob McCoy. Rob McCoy's been going around. Ali Files has been keeping up with Rob McCoy. Tell me I'm following. Of course I'm following Ali. Yeah, there we go. She's been keeping up with Rob McCoy. He's been saying all sorts of things.
Let's include Candace. Yes. I met her once just in passing in Nashville.
She hates you. She had like 10 episodes on you. I don't want to bring her up, but because I don't think she deserves the time. It's not even, Tucker is one thing. She's just peddling in like hateful conspiracies that like, I don't feel comfortable bringing her up because I don't think it's important to give these people.
Well, you may not feel comfortable, but I'd like to
go for it.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Yeah. You know, I met her briefly, and there was an event that Charlie and Candace were doing. I had a chance to meet her husband, George.
Yes.
I liked him. I talked to him about the Lord, about his faith. I was deeply moved by this man. Came to understand, and as I read more about him, his father, Lord Michael Farmer, the Council of Christians and Jews. He's a Zionist.
Yes.
And I, again, the reason why I bring her up is I'm baffled.
Yeah.
I don't know what is motivating us. I would love to come to an assumption, but I don't do that. Right. I just look at the horizon, and what I'm noticing is, yes, they have a large following, and yes, they pander to what I call carnal Christian soap opera. And I see a formula that they're applying, and they're making money at it. I don't know if that's the motivation. I don't know these things, but I do know this. It's going to start to turn in the opposite direction. I've already seen people say, I've had enough. I'm watching this happen. It will reach its ultimate conclusion.
It's already turning in the other direction. I know, because me and my friends have been working tirelessly to make it turn into the opposite direction. So it has to be happening. And I mean, I've already seen people saying they're fed up, especially after my sermons where I talk about Candace for hours at a time and really, really get their mind set on exactly what I'm saying about her. They seem like they've had enough. Yeah, of course they've had enough, you know? You get them into a sermon, they sit down, you lock the doors, and you're like, let me tell you about Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson. And they're like, what? What? Huh? Had their Bibles out. They're like, hold on a second. I thought we were, are we not? Terrible sermons, you know? So rarely you hear this guy go to the word, you know? It's just all about Candace and Tucker. Very, very odd. So this is the type of stuff that he's locked into right now, and it doesn't stop there. I can't wait to hear what Barron has to say about this shirt. I remember one of the first funniest clips I saw of Barron was him talking about Rob McCoy being dressed like a sailor. I was like, oh, this guy's actually funny. He's really funny, actually. He's dressed like a sailor. I can't wait until Barron has something to say about this shirt. Please get this to Barron. Somebody, you know what? Actually, here, let's go. Why not? I'm already here. At Barron, there it is, at Barron Coleman. What do you think of this shirt? Question mark. Oh, I misspelled the word shirt. Hold on a second. What do you think of this shirt? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Hope he talks about it on his show. Anyway, let's get to the clip.
We don't talk about politics. We don't talk about transgender. We don't talk about abortion. We don't talk about... Charlie would take it all on. He would spend the first portion of his day studying the scriptures and having his devotion before the Lord and praying. And then he'd spend at least 2 hours studying all the topics pertinent to 18 to 30-year-olds. So you were forefront on his mind, because he was concerned with the lost boys of the West, and he wanted all of you to have the American dream. So he studied these topics voraciously. He was autodidact, self-taught. And yes, he would take a Sabbath. He would shut off his phone, and the only electronic he'd use is the TV, because he loved football on Saturday. It was a family deal. And he would be present for his kids. And it changed him as a human being. Charlie was a remarkable man. He died with a smile on his face. A lot of you are saying, well, who killed him? I don't know. But if you want to blame me or my son because you listen to Candace Owens, why don't you just stop with a carnal Christian soap opera? There's not a thing she said pertaining to my family that is even remotely true. Not one thing.
Well, you said your son was covered in blood, and he wasn't covered in blood. That was the first thing, right? That's when everybody first took notice of Rob. It wasn't everybody else's doing. Like, everybody was just like honed in on Rob. It was because he said that. And everybody went, huh, that's weird, because they were looking into the case. And he wasn't, right? I don't even know if Candace was... I feel like I pointed that out. Ian started talking about it. Barron started going really hard. Like, he was doing in-depth. Like, the information Barron has on Rob McCoy is wild. It goes very deep, way past the sailor shirts. And, you know, that was the first thing people pointed out. I'm sure Candace said it as well, right? And then the next thing was that you were the first call, and you weren't the first call. You said you were the first call. You know, Elizabeth turned out to be the first call after that information was forced. And then the New York Times said Erica was I believe it was the New York Times, said that Mikey said it was Erica that was the first call. Just the first little round of inconsistencies that everybody was like, huh, what's going on here? No one did that to him. Candace didn't do that to him. He did that on his own. Okay? How pissed I'd be if I got to church and some guy started talking about podcasters, I'd be like, oh, I'm going to get up and leave. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this again. I'd be like, Rob, this is enough. This is crazy. What is this, 6 months later? You're still talking about Candace?
And I say that because I want to emphasize this. The scripture points out, he who answers a matter before he hears it, this is folly and disgrace. That's Proverbs 18 and then Proverbs 14. The fool believes every word, but the prudent considers well his steps. A wise man fears and departs from evil, but a fool rages in his self-confidence. You feel good because you feel like you're on the in and you have a secret knowledge because she's dropping all kinds of innuendos and suggestions. You know, she's not the judge and jury and executioner. There's a thing in America called due process. You know where it came from? 19 people were murdered because of spectral evidence. I had a dream, and I saw a spirit of a witch upon you. It was called the Salem witch trials. They killed 19 people because they had spectral evidence. I just felt like I saw Charlie in a dream. Spectral evidence. You know who ended it? A guy by the name of Increase Mather, who was the president of Harvard. He said the scriptures, changing culture, the scriptures call for due process, 2 or 3 witnesses. It also gives the other person an opportunity to present their side of the story. And then you have a jury of their peers who will vote, and you don't show partiality, which the scriptures point out, whether they're rich or poor. But in America today, when you have your eyes glued on this window into hell in your hand, you become, she's the judge, and you're all the jury. And you know who the executioner is? One of these knuckleheads that's been sending letters wanting to kill me. That's possibly going to make good on it one of these days, like they did to Charlie.
This is a wild little proposition he's making here, because as he says this about Candace, he's also talking about Andrew and Blake, because Andrew and Blake are doing the exact same thing. They're going on their show doing the exact same thing. They're doing it on the other side of things. They're saying there's a mountain of evidence. He's guilty. They're not saying, well, you know, we don't really know and it's alleged. We got to say he's a alleged killer. Jack Posopic's not doing that. Tyler Boyer's not doing that. Andrew and Blake are not doing that on the show. Erica didn't do that on the show. Erica didn't do that with Barry Weiss. Candace just showed us that clip. We revisited that clip. She didn't say that. She said, yep, I've seen everything. I've seen the, she's looking down like this. She's like, I've seen the evidence, prosecution. I've seen it all. He's the guy. So why is it okay when they do it? And it's not okay when Candace does it. They're talking about exactly what he touched on, secret knowledge. Because they're not telling us what exactly there is that they're seeing. They're just telling you that Candace is wrong and that they're right and that they've seen the evidence. They won't tell you what the evidence is. Then Officer Tatum comes and he says, they cannot tell you the evidence. They cannot tell you that. Right? Weird. So he's talking about them more so, I would say. Candace was reading just actually what was put out there. She's been talking about actual facts that you can see. Things that you can see. Text messages that you can see. Things that you can actually touch on. The difference is that she's willing to bring forth what she has and say, this is what I think, and the rest of them are not. But yet she has the secret knowledge. She has the innuendos. Interesting.
That's not America, and that's not Christendom. And if you're participating in that, you need to stop. Okay, there's 3 of you. Anyone else?
That's his version of please clap. Remember Jeb Bush? Jeb Bush, please clap. Yes? That was his version of that. That was 3 of you. Can I get the rest of you, please? I just said there's threats on my life. Can I please get the rest of you to clap? Well, seems like they don't want to. Probably because they went to church and now you're talking about Candace Owens. What you guys know, I love Candace. Oh, I love to watch me some Candace. If they brought it up in church, I'd be like, what is this? What are we talking about here? And it's like the great and powerful Joe Rogan once said, I'd be like, hold on a second. What? And I just want to let you know what Joe Rogan said with Dave Smith is not correct. I mean, there is nothing going on there. Their population has actually grown. And saying these things about these chosen people, I'd be like, hold on a split second, man. I love Joe. I don't want to hear about Joe in church. What are these things? I want to know what these are. Are these sermons or not? Or are they things that are just meant to go on YouTube so they can mold public opinion? I wonder sometimes. I would love to go to one of these events. Who's with me? Who wants to go to one of these events? I would love to go just to see it. I wouldn't say anything. I wouldn't want to say anything, but I would love to see what this is. Is it an hour of this? Is it 2 hours of this? I would be dumbfounded. You know? Pulls up Candace Owens on the screen. And then what she said here. Can you play the clip, please? Well, you see here, she has her battle bun on. And, you know, when we're talking about Charlie, we don't need to put on our battle bun. She has her battle bun on here, right? Right? You guys see it, right? And then she says this. I'd be like, what is going on here? Is that the sermon? That'd be cool, though. That'd be an interesting thing to watch. I'd be like, wow, this is weird. Next, we have Tucker Carlson. Let me tell you something about Tucker Carlson. I'd be like, this is crazy. Is this a live stream? You know? Pulling up Valhalla VFT. And then he says that it comes this way, but let me tell you why that's wrong. See, the C2 and the T1, I'd be like, what the turn this off. Do you have a Bible up there, sir? I mean, look close. I don't think he does. Let me tell you something. There's nothing I don't like more than when I go to church and the guy on stage doesn't have a Bible with him. I don't even care if it's just on the table. It better be there. I don't want you writing stuff down. Okay? Because now you're giving me interpretation. Just give me some word. That's it. Give me some exact word, please. That's what I'm there for. Talking about. Anyways. Ladies and gentlemen. Lindsey Graham had a great time. That's the clip, Lance. I forgot again. I've been forgetting to say it. Lindsey Graham had a fantastic time at Disney. Absolutely great, fantastic time. I told you. Listen, this isn't even me. This isn't even one of the meme makers. This is Beeple. Okay, if you don't know, how am I not following Beeple? If you don't know, Beeple just makes art. He makes art. He used to make NFTs. He made a crazy, like almost $100 million making NFTs. He just makes digital art. He makes one piece a day. I don't know the guy. I didn't talk to him. But everybody's on the same wavelength when it comes to Lindsey Graham. He has him dressed like Elsa. I said this 24 hours before the guy did it. Are you kidding me? Everybody with Mickey? With Mickey? And with kids. I mean, this guy's in tune. We must kind of be like friends. This is nuts. How did he know? Did he watch the show? There's no way he watches the show. There's absolutely no way. That's crazy. You know? Because if he did, he would have tagged me. Oh, come on. Come on, Lindsey. Up in the air. I love it here. I love it here. This is my 33rd hour here, and I absolutely love it. This is great. Put me higher, Mickey. Come on, Mickey. Put me higher in the air. Ooh. You don't know where my hand is. I know where your hand is, Mickey. Keep it there. Deeper. Last part was uncalled for. Somebody showed me this. It's a weird little thing they tagged me in, right? It was on like this post, right? So they're just basically showing that, oddly, Disney say if someone you know is in crisis, needs support, help is available, and they have their own like support team. With this person, I like the wavelength that they're on because they're like, listen, talking about rush hour traffic and all that stuff. They're actually looking to quote unquote help people who are in crisis. You can get in contact with them and they will get in contact with you. And then you get to go to the 33 Club as an honorary guest. Bing! You know, I just found that funny. That person shared that with me. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. And I think that is, I think that's real. Well, I shouldn't say I think that's real. I think your mind's in the right place when you're thinking about all that. Because what is that? You know, they could correct them to just, or they could connect them to better sources, but they have their own source. Isn't that weird? They have their own source. I'm not contacting it. Not me. They'll ping all my devices. Next thing you know, people are knocking at the door. Heard you're feeling down. Hey, big guy, you want to come with me? Next thing you know, I got to fight Mickey. Let me tell you something. I'll deal with Mickey. Oh, I'll deal with Mickey, boy, and knock that head right off. I don't know what you think this is. Anyway, let's keep going. Just really quick. Kristi Noem, she's stepping away from politics for a little while to spend time motorboating her husband. I don't know if you've heard about this. Kristi Noem's husband is like a cross-dresser. Nothing crazy. Nothing. Just, likes to switch it up sometimes. I don't understand that at all. It seems to be a real story. There's real pictures. I don't even know if I can show them to you. Right? They kind of look like this. A little bit. They a little bit look like that. A little bit. That's not too far off. But apparently the Daily Mail, they have legit pictures of this guy wearing some real gazongas on him. Don't know why. Don't know anything about it. Didn't go deeper into the story. I just figured I'd bring it up real quick. It's a very odd thing. Apparently he has been caught doing that. I don't get it. I don't know. But it's a nice palate cleanser as we get into UFOs, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting into aliens now. Yeah. You know what? Do I have the picture? Oh, it's Daily Mail. We can search Daily Mail, right? I can search Daily Mail. Kristi Noem husband. Let's see what that pulls up. This is very odd. It's very odd. Let's see. Nope, haven't seen anything. Can't believe this is happening to Kristi Noem, quite honestly. I mean, I think it's crazy. I think it's absolutely crazy. I don't think this should be happening to her. But even the Rolling Stone's writing about it. Former Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem has responded to revelations that her husband, Brian, what is that, Barron? Or is that Brian? Is that how you spell Brian? That's a weird name. Noem frequently engaged in online bimbofication? What? Ugh. I don't know, man. I don't know. She has to deal with it. That's what happens. Apparently she kicked a puppy or something way back when, And I don't want to say what she actually did, but she heard a puppy and she wrote about it in her book. And I guess now the chickens are coming to roost. The karma's hitting her hard. Okay. It's hitting her very hard. This is very weird. So, which picture could I use here? These pictures are very, very interesting. He's wearing a shirt. Okay. Anyway, let's go to a more sensible topic. Aliens. Alien hybrids. Let's go to what makes more sense in the world. Alien hybrids, because I don't know what's going on with that story. I don't know if he's sick or I don't know what's up with him. Prayers. What do they say? What's that thing they say online? We listen and we don't judge. I guess. Let's go to this. Now, I think there's something going on. I think there's really something going on. We talked about this. Somebody super chatted me. They asked me what I thought about what JD Vance was saying about aliens, UFOs. Then all of a sudden, Benny Johnson, who was also sitting with JD, Benny Johnson sits down with Matt Gaetz, and they have a similar conversation. I'm going to start at the top with this one, and then we're just going to keep going. I think there's something going on, though.
And I had someone come and brief me who was in a military uniform, worked for the United States Army, that was briefing me on the locations of hybrid breeding programs where captured aliens were breeding with humans to create some hybrid race that could engage in intergalactic communication. An actual uniformed member of the United States Army briefed me on that.
Non-human biologics, interracial alien mating?
Interracial. They're talking about aliens, dummy. He's like, hold on, blacks and whites? Hold on a second. No, aliens and humans. Come on. You reading your script or not? What's going on with this guy?
What the F is going on? Look, wait a second. You had whistleblowers tell you this kind of thing? Can you please unpack that?
Yeah, I had a guy who was uniformed. He was a senior enlisted with the United States Army.
Someone thinks they're real smart in the comments. They're like, human race, alien race. No, it's not. No. Okay, that's a species and a species. Hey, do I have to explain it to you? Who is this? Let me see. Evildoer. Oh, you deserve this. Your name's Evildoer. Listen, Evildoer. Humans are a species. Aliens are a species. They're not a different race. The races are on Earth. Now, you could say that is a race if you want, but you'd be wrong. Those are different species. We don't talk about the black and white race and then the golden retriever race, right? We don't do that. Do we, Evildoer? No, we don't, Evildoer. Anyway, let's keep this going.
Came into my office in Crestview, Florida, in a non-classified setting. I had members of my staff there, and what they explained is that the military ran a very secret program where aliens that were living were in forced breeding programs with humans that had been abducted from war zones and from even the caravans of migrants. Now, again, I didn't verify this, but what the whistleblower was telling me is that there were like between 6 and 12 locations around the country where this happened. And what he wanted was a group, members of Congress, to all show up at the same time at all of these different locations so that any of those activities could not be moved. And of course, it's a physical impossibility to get members of Congress to simultaneously show up at like 8 locations at one time. And so that never occurred.
So he was briefed on this, okay? Talking about these programs where there's, I'm gonna refer to the language as splicing. They're splicing these people and beings together. Very odd. And the fact that he's telling Benny Johnson, you would think, right? Benny Johnson is the politics guy. He is the conservative guy. If you come to his show and say, because obviously you have to be talking about something, right? If I said to Benny Johnson, hey, you want me to come on your show and talk about aliens? He'd be like, oh, well, absolutely not. He's like, this is not what this show's about. Somehow, him and Matt Gaetz are talking about aliens, and the way that he even reacts to it is the most hilarious thing. Because if you really focus in on Benny, it seems like he's acting.
I had someone come and brief me who was in a military uniform, worked for the United States Army, that was briefing me on the locations of hybrid breeding programs where captured aliens were breeding with humans to create some hybrid race that could engage in intergalactic communication. An actual uniformed member of the United States Army briefed me on that.
Non-human biologics, interracial alien mating? What the F is going on? Look, wait a second. You had whistleblowers tell you this kind of thing? Can you?
What the F is going on? Hold on. Wait. You had whistleblowers tell you this kind of thing? Like, he doesn't even seem surprised. Like, wouldn't that blow your mind if a former congressman who was almost the attorney general said that to you? I don't know, man. It's very odd. You would think that if he was briefed by someone in a uniform, I'm talking about Matt Gaetz now, that he wouldn't exactly be able to just tell Benny Johnson that type of information, right? Because if he was briefed on that, he's probably briefed in a skiff. If he's briefed in a skiff, he can't talk about what happened in the skiff outside of the skiff, unless he was told he could talk about it. And if he was told he could talk about it, that means he's been positioned to talk about it. That means he's pushing that information out. Now, why are they doing that type of thing? Someone said Benny's extremely fake. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Everybody's their own person. Yeah. Friend of the show, Benny Johnson. You know. Evildoer is definitely friends with Benny Johnson. Human race, alien race, dog race, cat race, squirrel race. Okay. And then we have a senator who comes out and says something not even similar. I mean, it's just wild what this guy's saying out of nowhere. And again, all these little pieces. We have Obama, I think it was 2 weeks ago. Obama says aliens are real and they're not in Area 51. Then we have J.D. Vance saying he thinks they're demons. I'll show you that in a second. Then we have Matt Gaetz come out and talk about hybrids. And now we have this guy, and this comes out like an hour later or so around. Listen.
Ladies and gentlemen, breaking news. It's true. There are aliens living amongst us. There are aliens in Area 51. There are even alien human hybrids.
Ah, he got me. He got me. Oh, I like this guy. This guy's a badass. Oh, he got me. All right, let's see here. Bang. He's he didn't even say for sure. He goes, was it an April Fool's Day joke? Or was it another psyop to throw you off the truth while carrying on with the alien human crossbreeding programs? You'll never know. Oh, and he's from Australia. Are they a day ahead or a day behind? Are they a day ahead or a day behind? Which is it? Which is it with Australia? Are they behind or are they ahead? And it does sound like a psyop to me. Are they a day ahead or a day behind? That's what matters. Because it's April Fool's Day today. If they're behind, what he's saying doesn't make any sense. If they're ahead, then for sure. All right, let me see here. You guys aren't answering fast enough. Then I have to spell the word Australia. I mean, a day ahead of US or behind? Let me see. They're ahead. Okay. Thank you for answering. Okay, so they're ahead. So he was doing it on April Fool's. Okay, that makes sense. But then you move on to this person, and this is from 2024, and she didn't say this. She didn't say anything like this, 2024. Or she wasn't saying this on April Fool's of 2024. So check this out.
There are rumors that have come up to the Hill of a secretive project within the Department of Defense involving the manipulation of human genetics with what is described as non-human genetic material, potentially for the enhancement of human capabilities, hybrids. Are any of you familiar with that? Yes or no?
No, ma'am.
I am not, ma'am.
I'm not.
No, ma'am.
Most important information will be the biologics that are not human that have been discovered. And like even some of the briefings that aren't classified just need to be out in the public. I mean, I had someone come and brief me who was in a military uniform, worked for the United States Army, that was briefing me on the locations of hybrid breeding programs where captured aliens were breeding with humans to create some hybrid race that could engage in intergalactic communication.
It's very odd. Now, for me, I have a bias because I don't believe that there's any intergalactic embassy or association. I don't actually think any of these things are from a far, far away planet that we've been seeing. I think that exists far, far out there, but I don't think that's what we've been seeing. I think that we have a long, long line of occultists, and they've been conjuring things up for a very long time. And they do it through very deep, dark occult rituals. And those are the things that we're actually seeing when we see anything. from the donations, quote unquote, because that's what they call them when there's crashes from any technology. Jack Parsons got downloads. Elon gets downloads. All these guys get downloads for technology. They're constantly accessing the very thin veil of the seen and unseen. And I think that's what it is. So I don't think there's any intergalactic anything. Perhaps demons fornicating with people, working that whole thing out. But there's also another part to this, right? Should I show the JD Vance thing first? Did I even where's the JD Vance thing? Oh, come on. We have to have that. Would they get rid of it on me? Here, I'll find it right now. JD Vance demons. JD Vance demons. Because somebody actually asked me about this in the super chats. I think it was on Friday. Maybe it was yesterday. And I said I wanted to bring it up. And this is me going a little deeper because all these things start popping up out of the woodwork. So again, this is another interview with Benny Johnson. It happened on March 27th. Don't worry. But again, I talked about this with my wife in the members only live stream we did yesterday. It's like, why is he even allowed to say this?
You're going to release all the UFO files?
We're working on it. It's funny. When I came in, I was obsessed with the UFO files. And then you start getting really busy worrying about the economy and national security and things like that. But I've still got 3 more years as vice president. I will get to the bottom of the UFO files.
Okay. Have you peeked? Have you done a peek?
Have I what?
Have you done a peek? Have you
So I actually haven't. I have
full
not.
Independence Day.
I have not been able to spend enough time on this to really understand it. Yeah. But I am going to. Trust me. I'm obsessed with this. I've already had a couple of times where I'm like, all right, we're going to Area 51. We're going out to New Mexico. We're going to sort of get to the bottom of this. And then the timing of the trip just didn't work out. But trust me, anybody who's curious about this, I'm more curious than anybody. And I've got 3 years of the very, very tippy top of the classification. I'm going to get to the bottom of it.
Okay. So you haven't been to Area 51 yet?
Not yet.
Some
not
people
yet.
say they keep the UFOs in Ohio. They might,
Hangar 18, Hangar 18, right?
I've
I've heard that as well. But I don't know. I haven't looked into it yet.
Okay. All right. Well, we're waiting for it. We saw aliens.gov.
You know me.
We saw aliens.gov.
I don't think they're aliens. I think they're demons anyway, but that's a longer discussion.
Well, I can't let you go without a follow-up on that. Because Barack Obama is on this podcast and he goes, yeah, aliens are real, but here's where they're not. And,
So Benny was the one that talked to Obama too about it? I didn't even realize that. So they're all bringing this nonsense through Benny Johnson. That would be the perfect person to do it through. Honestly, not that I have any hate for Benny Johnson whatsoever. He's just a company man. He'll say whatever he's told to say, like whatever the talking point is for conservatives that is not super radical or crazy, he is going to be saying, and that's it. And that's just the way it's going to be.
And so Obama says, yes, aliens he gets asked point blank, are aliens real? Oh, yeah. And then he goes, but they're not at Area 51. And
where are they, bro?
Well, that's what he says. Okay. Right. That's a great question. Trump had to go save him, and he said he's going to declassify. Okay. So you think they're demons?
Well, look, I think that celestial beings who fly around, who do weird things to people, I think that the desire to describe everything celestial, everything is otherworldly, to describe it as aliens. I mean, every great world religion, including Christianity, the one that I believe in, has understood that there are weird things out there, and there are things that are very difficult to explain. And I naturally go, when I hear about sort of extra natural phenomenon, that's where I go to, is the Christian understanding that, there's a lot of good out there, but there's also some evil out there. And I think that one of the devil's great tricks is to convince people he never existed.
So, and the thing about this is, right, don't think that I think this is nonsense. I'm right on board with this. But it's just like, you're the vice president. Why are you allowed to say this? This shouldn't be a thing that he can just say on the fly. This has to be a thing. When you sit down with the vice president, the interview is very curated, right? It's not fully prepared all the time because JD can handle himself in a conversation, but they do want to know what you're going to talk about, and they do vet you. Even if they know you, even if you're Benny Johnson, they're going to vet you heavily. They're going to go through your calls. They're not going to tell you. They're going to go through everything as much as they possibly can because they want to make sure you haven't switched sides or you're doing anything crazy. They want to make sure. They want to know everywhere you've been for the last little while. So they look into you pretty deep, right? And then there's a little bit of like, what are we going to talk about today? What are we going to talk about with Benny Johnson? Because they don't sit down with Benny Johnson at Benny's request. Like, oh, I need to sit down with JD. We need to talk. Benny sits down with them at their request. That's how I see it. They say, we have some things we want to talk about and bring to the American public, bring to the conservative base. You're the guy. You're the funnel to the conservative base. We need to sit down with you and say some things. And the next thing you know, they're talking about UFOs. At the same time Matt Gaetz is, at the same time Obama is. And then after Obama said it, the president was like, he can't say that. That's kind of a violation. He shouldn't be talking about the aliens. It seems like something's going on. Now, if you're an old school person like me looking into it, then you understand exactly what this is. Exactly what, and I'm not saying they are gearing up for, but what they could be gearing up for. So, I play Steve Greer. Now, Stephen Greer, to some people, is just like, hey, this guy's not to be. They feel like he's a little bit of a shill. I feel like he has this thing called Encounters of the Fifth Kind, I believe it's called. It's called CE5, I'm pretty sure. And what they do is they attract UFOs. They attract UAPs. How they do this is through a summoning. Now, what they do, and you can tell me what this sounds like, they all get in a circle. They go to a desert or undisclosed location. Some of them put these things on their heads that like are kind of brainwaves things, and they all get into a trance and they conjure something up. They attract it from millions of light years away, hundreds of thousands of light years away. They attract this thing and it comes to them. And what they report is it kind of dances around for them a little bit. Now, what I think when I hear this is, oh, that's a seance. You're doing seances and you think that you're attracting little green men, but they're actually demons. They're the same thing that Aleister Crowley was summoning, Jack Parsons was summoning, so many others through different, Paul E. Vallely's partner that he wrote Mind War with. That's the stuff that you're actually attracting. That's what you're actually doing. And you think you're doing something else. But I'll still let him speak his piece, although I don't like the whole thing that he's doing and getting other regular people to do it because you don't know if those things attach to you. I'm of the assumption that these things are evil. They're dark. You could be of the assumption that they're light or they're aliens or they're this or they're that. But to me, it sounds like a seance. It sounds like an occult ritual. Doesn't usually bring light things into the world. Anyway, let's go.
The big one would be this, what Werner von Braun.
And the audio is a little off. It's a little off because they wanted to make the audio sound perfect. So this is an actual video of him. He's talked about this for a long time, this type of thing.
Warned about on his deathbed. He said, he said, we are going to hoax an alien attack on the planet. It's all a lie, but it will trick and fool almost everyone. So we're trying to expose that. But see, if this festers much longer with that group that have the technologies I'm talking about, in a minute, they could stage this and it would fool. Well, it had. I mean, look at what they've been doing for decades, fooling everyone. Everyone's saying, oh, those are alien events. And, our military guys chasing these objects thinks those are military, right? But they're not. I mean, or alien, they're military or covert aerospace programs. So the ability to hoax an attack on our planet is real. And
what would be the goal in them doing that, staging a really false alien attack on the entire world? What would they accomplish?
They want to unite the world around a military junta, a totalitarian system. And how do you do that? How do you get one race or one ethnicity or one nation to stop fighting with each other? You create a bigger problem up there and it unites everyone against a common enemy. But in that uniting of the world in war instead of peace, they can then exert all manner of totalitarian controls. That has been a 70-year plan. I have a CIA document from 1953 or 54 stating that they can use the UFO issue to great advantage for its, quote, psychological warfare value. So once they got close and mastered the technology in the mid-50s, and they knew they were close to that in 53, 54, then what has happened is that they've started a long-term program to brainwash the public that there's a threat out there. Now, the question is, will they brainwash President Trump?
Now, what he's talking about is something called Project Bluebeam. It's been in the works for a long time, and I forget which president actually said it. I don't know if it was Nixon or Reagan, but there was a president that said it. Was it George Bush? It wasn't George Bush. There's no way it was George Bush. Yeah, George Bush was a dark man. President that said we need alien invasion to unite. Which president said that? There you go. It was Reagan. So that's what I thought. He said that it would be necessary. He said that an alien invasion might be necessary to unite humanity. Okay. Bring all nations together. So this has been something that's been allegedly, maybe perhaps in the works for a long time. So I just show that because I just saw all those alarm bells ringing, because it's like they're all bringing this up at the exact same time, just out of nowhere, just for no reason whatsoever. You know, there's been no headway on disclosure whatsoever, because I follow the UFO disclosure movement quite a bit. There's been exactly one world. Yes, exactly. Somebody catches on there. That's the type of stuff I can't exactly talk about, but yes, that is what it is said to be moving towards. So very interesting stuff. Very, very interesting that they're doing all that at the same time. You know, again, I don't have time to talk about the people that run the world. You know, I'll show you one of them. Here, check this out. It's Larry Ellison.
Constantly recording, watching and recording everything that's going on. Citizens will be on their best behavior because we're constantly recording and reporting everything that's going on. And it's unimpeachable. The cars have cameras on them. I think we have a squad car here someplace. But those kind of applications using AI, if we can use AI, and we're using AI to monitor the video. So if that altercation that occurred in Memphis, the chief of police would be immediately notified. It's not people that are looking at those cameras, it's AI that's looking at the camera. No, you can't do this. It would be like a shooting. That's going to be immediately, that's going to be an event that's immediately, an alarm is going to go off, it's going to be, and we're going to have supervision. In other words, every police officer is going to be supervised at all times.
So that's one of them. I don't have time to talk about it today, but a council has been formed, and that gentleman that you just saw talking is on the council. And this council will have say or recommendations on what needs to happen with AI in America, what direction it should be going in. Also a guy who donated quite a bit to the president, who's also promised quite a bit of money to the admin, in terms of America, that's how they say. Also the guy that bought TikTok, also the guy that helped Elon Musk purchase X. So that gentleman is a part of the council. I'll tell you the rest of the members of the councils tomorrow, because we keep running out of time. But yeah, that council is very scary. It's a very scary council. So kind of sucks. I've been meaning to talk about this for like a week, and I just keep on, I keep getting tripped up, in terms of time, because there's about 13 people on this council. 13 people on the council. Kind of like, whatever. The number 13 has some significance, but 13 people on the council, and all of them are like that guy. Another one that I'll tell you guys about right now is Mark Zuckerberg. Oh man. So the tech people run the country at this point, basically. Allegedly, maybe, perhaps. Anyway, we will talk about that tomorrow for sure. Crazy cleaning girly, like how I just go on to the next thing, There's a council, they're all terrifying, and they run America. Anyway, crazy cleaning lady, crazy cleaning girly, welcome to the crew. Mike Sawtell and looks like Rob McCoy. Welcome to the crew. No insult there. I'm just saying. Let's keep going here. Rebecca Myers, highlight of my morning. If only my boss would shut up so I could listen. Well, tell your boss to listen too. Just be like, hey, man, come on, sit down. Coach is on. You know, let's see how. Hey, coach, get back to work, Matt Walsh. This is my favorite thing ever. Love the show. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. David J. Baby Fund. Kids are amazing. All the love and positive vibes for you, for your new addition to the family. Man, you know, the wife is ready. Or the wife is ready. You know, she's at full term already. She's ready to go. But we must wait, of course, right? God's time. Jayberg, watching Candace last night. Oh yeah, that's what I call you. I'm supposed to call you Jayberg. Okay. Jayberg, watching Candace last night reminded me of my wife catching me in a fib. Also seems like Tyler Robinson's attorneys won't be pushovers like I thought. Maybe, we'll see. We'll see. My real test for them is, are they going to take anything into consideration that I've heard Barron or Candace say? Anything. Because I think that they could. And I think it'd be a really smart move. Speaking of Barron, Daisy in the house, greatest researcher in America, according to Baron Coleman. Good morning to everyone, except Andrew Colvett. Come on, Andrew can't get a good morning? You know? Nah, I guess not. To say good morning to even Blake and not Andrew, that is something. You really have taken issue with Andrew. You're saying good morning to Tyler and Blake, but not Andrew? Wow. The Coleman podcast dislikes Andrew quite a bit. Or at least one of the representatives. Giovanna Rodriguez, thoughts on Blake posting his call with Candace on X. Seems upset. She hasn't discussed his discoveries. Weird. 2 posts their phone calls. Tantrum. Oh, I thought you were talking about Blake Neff. I was like, what happened? That Blake's a lunatic. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, it's having a little bit of a tantrum. Had a tantrum on me. Had a tantrum on a bunch of people. Then there was like some spaces. He was like, all of you guys come into my spaces now. And I was like, no, because I'm not on anything. You know, I'm sober. So no, I'm not doing that. And and then he just had a big tantrum about everybody. It's always seemed like he just wants credit. I don't know why he wants credit. I don't know what he wants credit for, but he should just be locking in on his own investigation, put his head down and just do it. Like that's what he should be doing. That's anybody who's looking into this stuff. Just head down, work. That's it. That's all you should be doing, you know. You can have a tantrum if you want, but it didn't help anything. And it proved that he had burner accounts. He's done this to Ali Files. He's done this to Candace. He's started doing it to me at one point. I think that's died down. He just does this. So it's a weird thing. To attack the people who are on your side of things is very odd to me. But also, I have to look into it more to actually verify, but there might be a Fort Huachuca connection to that person. I don't know if that's true. I have no idea. But somebody sent me a bunch of information. They're like, hey, look, you should look at this. And I was like, huh, that's interesting. Who knows? Rachel, a.k.a. Heather. What's going on, Heather? Sent a membership. Appreciate you. Good morning, Mint Daddy crew. Coach, Mrs. Coach, thank you so much, Heather. We appreciate you so much. Did you come to the spaces yesterday? Or not the spaces. Did you come to the live stream yesterday? We had fun. We were talking about giants. We were talking about aliens. We were talking about the Cecil Hotel. Oh, my gosh, the Cecil Hotel. We were talking about all sorts of things. And we were talking about Garth Brooks. You ever heard the Garth Brooks theory? Have you guys ever heard about the Garth Brooks theory? The dark Garth Brooks theory? It is wild. It was wild. We were trying to talk about it yesterday. It was really weird. Really weird stuff. They just can't shake Candace Owens loose. She is watching every dishonest move they make and announces it to the world with her chest. Love your show, Coach. Thank you so much. Did we have a Gary clip that I forgot to play? I feel like we did. What did Gary have to say here? What was this? Oh yeah, Gary. Gary was pretty weird. What he was saying about Erica and Jillian.
The worst you can say about it is that she talked inappropriately to a 15-year-old girl. That's a far cry from grooming or anything else. And I think she just slipped up. Well, autocorrect made the text say what it did, sex, and then she kind of jokingly played that off. Now, this is a girl that she's 15. She was a very mature 15. She was talking about sex. She was talking about drugs with other people, not with Erica. But she made it very clear that she kind of had a mouth on her and was talking about inappropriate things all the time.
Whew. Man, that's a sentence you're not supposed to say. She was a mature 15. Ew, that's not a thing you're supposed to say. Just as a man, you're not supposed to say that. I think a little weird. Well, yeah, that's shill territory. That is just weird. That is weird. Yeah, that Bronson dude's with him. He's right along with him. Very interesting. I've seen that guy like to make videos about me. I've never watched the videos because I never watch anything like that about myself. But yeah, very interesting to say that. You know, she's a very mature 15. What are you talking about? What are you saying? You know. Anyway, Chris Gaines, yes, 100%. Chris Gaines, yep, that's Garth Brooks. Yeah, see, somebody said I have a 15-year-old. Yeah, because when you hear that, you're like, that's crazy. That's a crazy thing to let out of your mouth. You do not say that. They're kids still. They're dumb kids still at 15, you know? They think they're adults. They're not. You know, they're dumb. They know the words. They say things. They don't know things. They don't understand consequences still. They're kids. 5 years. If someone's 15, 5 years before that, they were 10. Like, I mean, think about it. Think about how old we all are. And then 5 years after that, or before that, they were 5. That's a kid. You're just a kid still. You don't know what's going on. Anyway, that's scary, ladies and gentlemen. You know, this is what happens when you just have to say anything. When you just have to say anything, that's what happens. You start saying things like that because you have to dispel every single thing about Turning Point, and you're not doing it because you're connected to Turning Point at all. It's just truth and justice, and there's no financial incentive, and it's just like, it's ridiculous, Seema. It just looks absolutely ridiculous. So then you're in a corner and you're saying stuff like that, you know? And now we're all looking at you weird because who on earth says that type of thing about a kid? You know what I mean? It's just such a, oh my gosh, wow. Gary. You know? Anyway. So gross. I would like to thank you on behalf of accountants and tax professionals. Having your show coming through my earbud all of tax season has seriously helped keep the stress down. Christ is king. That's amazing. I don't even let my accountant listen to my show at all. Accountant's like, what's the show called? I'm like, nah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, Philadelphia. Just go ahead and get those taxes done for me, please, sir. Listen, don't worry about it, Philadelphia. Go ahead and just get those taxes going for me, big guy. Turning Point USA peeps, you know what you did. You know what you did. Did you just push a fragment into that hole from the mic going off and go, aha, fixed. Erica Kirk approved. Proceeds to do the demon eyes. That's a nice act out there. I like that. Aha! You know, and that's also what I started thinking about. Like, what were they doing down there? I've questioned that so many times before. I've made videos about it. I don't know. I don't know what they were doing down there. You know, it's hard to tell. Really hard. Anyway, now the feds are forced to look at the influencer's evidence. Yeah, they should. I mean, Barron and Candace alone, like that's it. Like, you're good. Examine that through and through. Why did they keep calling it a bullet fragment? Coach, I have a gift for you, a gift for your baby. Where can I send it? Well, what's the gift? Is it ticking? What is it? Is it going tick, 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 tick? What kind of gift is this? What are we talking about here? I I don't know where to send it. The wife's still looking into that. You know, do we have a PO box? I don't know if I don't even know how all that works. I only just got in. I only just became an adult a little while ago, so I don't even know how a PO box works. I mean, can you send stuff there? Will it fit? It's small. Like I don't get it. Do they just keep it? I don't get it. I see you and I raise you the Warren Report. Yeah, right. Yeah, I hear that. Dusty 4020, friend of the show, Cash Honey Drip Patel. Yeah, some people get dipped in baby oil. Cash Patel gets dipped in honey. Yeah, he's a man of finer things. Sarah Cryer, thanks for making me laugh so much. You're a special soul. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Really appreciate that. Shelly mentioned, welcome to the crew, Mint Daddy crew. Rebecca Myers, what about a shot through the top of the head, pointing down with part of the bullet coming out from the neck? That would count for the angle. No blood, back, and bullet fragment. That's hard because if you remember what it looks like, I should start finding images of the footage. If you remember what it looks like, who was above, there was security directly above. Now, I shouldn't say security. It might have been campus police that were directly above him. Now, again, those people that older lady was talking about, they were above him and to the side. So you can kind of make that type of leap with them. But in terms of directly above him, there was campus police there. Now, could one or two campus police really, watch everybody? But that would mean that there was somebody angled up doing their thing. I don't know if that could be it. And I feel like, well, I don't know what kind of round it was at that point. If it's a 30-06, I mean, that's just a graphic, terrible scene. If it's something lower, maybe. I mean, but then we're talking about I don't know. I really don't know. That's why I'm hoping Valhalla actually gets deeper into that, because I think with the new information he has, he can come up with a different, possibly better theory. I'll pull up. You know what? I guess I should remind myself. Show UVU second shot position. I'll revisit it. I made a video about this before, but I do not remember what that video is called because I post so many. But I'll revisit because there is another option for a shot. Anyway, in my mom era, I'll talk about it tomorrow. In my mom era, crazy thing about Disney is anyone could be in those character costumes and you'd never know. Makes sense that LG was there when you think about it. Yeah. Yeah, when you look at him as a person, it makes sense. Yeah, anybody could be in those things. They're usually highly vetted, but vetted in what way? And, who knows? Who actually knows? It's actually pretty crazy. That's why it's always freaky. I have no desire to go to that place. It's not even because of the tunnels it's just weird to. My wife's like that too. Yeah, I'm cool with masks, Halloween, but it's you have this whole head on and you're just walking up to me silently. I'm like, I don't like this whole thing. This is not my jam. I'm not into that. Daisy, once again, what? I did not know that event was for witnesses only. That changes a lot for me. Thank you. I don't know if it was for witnesses only. I don't know if they positioned it as that, but when you listen to the video, Frank is talking about it and he goes, you were all there, right? He's talking to a bunch of people that were there. I don't know if he said this is only for witnesses, but it's possible because I should actually say this for Daisy. There was 4 people. You could possibly look into this. There was 4 people who were actually at the event, right? And they were, for some reason, allowed to be witnesses when the whole gag order thing was going on. For some reason, they were allowed to be witnesses. Okay. Let's just jump in here. What can I say? KUTV, Charlie Kirk witnesses. Now, the reason I want to actually pull this up, there it is, perfect. The reason I actually want to pull this up is because one guy here, let me just pull this up here for you for you, Daisy. One guy, this guy, okay, this guy right in the center here, which gives me spook energy for sure. This guy, he started a Facebook group that was just for people who were there. Now, again, I don't know why these 4 people alone were allowed to talk about what they experienced. It was just them. I remember it was at a point where it was like even associates of the case weren't allowed to speak. But for some reason, this guy was allowed to make a Facebook group. He made a Facebook group, and it was only for people who had been there. Oh, and he's doing that hand symbol. Oh, get out of town. And he's wearing the freedom shirt. He's doing the hand symbol. And what are we talking about? This is crazy. And then for Daisy, if you're still watching, then this guy, he actually stays behind a little bit when it comes to everything happening with Charlie. So while everybody's ran off, everybody's scrambling, things are dead, he's still there, and he's like kind of helping clean up. He's kind of like watching the tents. He's kind of around like he has a duty. It's really weird. Each one of these guys, there's a girl too, but she's just a young girl. Don't know who she is, but she's like, I don't know, 16. But each one of these guys is former military. Okay. And these are the 3 that they decided to interview. But this guy in the middle started a Facebook group. I think at some point they show the Facebook group. I'm not 100% sure. That would be harder for me to find right off the bat, because he did start a group. They mention it and they show it, but I don't know if they show the title of the group. So there is a group that currently exists, and it's just for people who were there to recount what they've seen. Now, yeah, see, you'd have to watch this video through, and they might show a screenshot of it. They might. Let me just see here. If you are going to use this, be careful. I'm pretty sure they hit me with something. They didn't like people using this whole thing. I used it anyway because it didn't matter. I just wanted to put it out there. But yeah, this is very hard to nail down. But you will see that there is a Facebook group that's made. They talk about it. So yeah, there, if that helps at all, Daisy. Weird thing. So there may be, the reason I bring that up is there may be a connection there. He makes a Facebook group, right, just for people who went through that whole traumatic experience. Then Frank Turek has a room full of them. Did Frank tap him to get those people there? I don't know. I don't know how all that came to be, but yeah, there you go. So thank you so much. Appreciate you. Garlic breath. Oh gosh, it's terrible. It's the worst nickname, you know. I had to watch Candace 2 times yesterday to take in everything she revealed. What an eye opener. But we have all known it, but the proof is in the pudding. Like pudding, but Kash Patel's pudding. Okay. The proof is in the honey. That's what you should be saying. We will all go down in history. Oh man. I guess so. We'll see. I don't know. Can't tell when history is being created. It all depends on who gets to write it, right? Somebody might, write it different. Jax, I enjoy listening to Nate. He recently explained some of his experience with bomb dogs while overseas. Enjoy your show as well. It pulls it all together, and you're the kindest soul. Go Max. Thank you very much. Yeah, I heard him talking about his experience with those dogs. So it touches it directly to what Candace Owens was saying. So Candace is not crazy when she brings that up about the dogs. Your Officer Tatum impression sounds dead on to Eddie Murphy. Love it. Yeah. Yeah, it's like Eddie Murphy doing buckwheat, It's meant to be disrespectful. But, Officer Tatum, friend of the show. Coach, Mama Llama. Coach, I thought your Matt impression was good. Your Officer Tatum impression was so good. I cackled driving to get my coffee. Gotta be more careful. That's so funny. That is so funny. Moo. Wondering if Frank had that room full of witnesses to figure out who they said, or who should be tracking, who they should be tracking, keeping tabs on, who in that room has been gone. Yeah, that'd be terrifying, actually, 17 out of the 56 people passed away. It's weird, Officer Tatum voicemail number on Google won't let me post. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Get out of here. Who's this? Heavenly Vitality? I don't believe you. Officer Tatum voicemail number. Let me see here. Hold on a second. Because if you're telling the truth. Officer Tatum voicemail number. Let me see this here. Oh boy, oh boy. The voicemail number of Officer Tatum is this. He encourages followers to call and leave Oh, really? Okay. New segment in the show. New segment in the show, ladies and gentlemen. Get ready. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Heavenly. Truly lived up to that name. Thank you so much. Just say, Julie, all these legal subject matter experts coming out of the woodwork, coming out of the word work. That's they both work there. Both work. Very true. Yeah, there's a lot. FT should, who's FT? FT should tour with Officer Tatum. Too dumb for word. That would be the tour. That'd be the tour name. Too dumb for words. Too dumb for words is hitting the stage, ladies and gentlemen. Who's FT, guys? Frank Turek, of course. Why can I never, it's always so simple, I never solve it. Come on. How did I not know that? Those two touring together, that would be interesting. That'd be very interesting. That'd be that would be like Turning Point 2.0, Charlie and Candace. That would be their new version of Charlie and Candace, Is all a hoax. It's all a hoax, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, let's keep going here. I don't know. I'm thinking about calling this number right now, but do I have to hide my number or what? That's the only thing I'm wondering. Do I have to hide my number? Whatever. We'll have the logistics worked out tomorrow. Stay tuned. Dr. Bilbo, whenever something new happens on X, I can't wait to see Poppy's take. But seriously, now, who is your favorite Disney princess? Oh, I don't know. I think it'll all just be Snow White. I think she'll always be. Oh, geez, somebody actually found it. Oh, holler. And that matches the number that I have. Thank you very much. Confirmed. Jay Berg, friend of the show, Officer Tatum, best friend of the show. Lord, I'm crying. Yeah, he's the best friend of the show. I mean, he's absolutely great. Absolutely great. If I meet him, I'll shake his hand. I'll shake his hand and be like, brother, thank you so much for all the content. I love that the Talmud Tatum impression is a compost. In 1847 in Yosemite Sam. Oh my gosh. Yeah, kind of. I'm mixing different elements in with that impression, that's for sure. This guy said 1847. He could have said the 1800s. He's like, nah. He's like, there's a certain era of the 1800s that this matches up with. Oh my gosh. Steph, Coach, I listen to your show daily. My day starts with you, then Candace. Get my Candace fix. I wrap up with a Baron Live. On a good day, I sneak a little Ian and Lionel in there. Truth will prevail, and we are all here for it. Yeah, Ian is key. Ian doesn't play around. Ian's been a huge inspiration. I had that one conversation with him, and I was like, wow. Baron I had a conversation with, and it seemed like a divine type of thing. Like me and my wife, we prayed on what he was saying to me, And, we talked about it. I prayed on it. And it seemed like a divine type of intervention. And again, what he told me led me to Lance. It led me to what's going on now. Live shows. I mean, it just led to so much. And then later on, I had a conversation with Ian. And Ian, if you talk to him, he's like really as smart as he seems. Like sometimes like you might think he's like unhinged. He's like really, really smart. And then he introduced me to like systems and how systems work and how all that can work. And it's like, it was just so beneficial talking with both those guys. I would love to have a conversation in person with both those guys. Just great. LOL or Lolo Dixon. Or is it LOL O Dixon? I don't know. Both are cool. I love this show. I'm laughing so much. It's like medicine. That's beautiful. Laughing is like medicine. Good for you. I'm very glad that's happening. Very glad that's happening for you. Did Tatum just say, be brought to justice and getting put to death? 2, all I can hear is Bobby Boucher. Is that Boucher from Waterboy? When you do opposite. I didn't even think of that. Yeah. Oh, my name is Bobby Boucher. Yes. I just hear at the Waterboy. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, a little bit there, like Bobby Boucher from 1847. Noon. Oh, okay. See, I knew Lance would know. Right away. Louisiana. People from Louisiana know all sorts of patois. All sorts. Southern, French, everything. They know all sorts of patois. Noonday solved. Psalm 37:6. And he shall bring forth thy righteousness as the light, and thy judgment as the noonday. Tatum got the eyebrow memo. From the eyebrow people. Yes, I think you're right about that, Lance. Thank you so much for solving that for us. Appreciate you. Undertaker's wife, Fleet's unhinged responses on X give me big giggles. Oh man, it's wild. You go into Fleet's replies, they're wild. Susanna, Rosanna, Diana, I'm about 77% convinced that they meant for it to be a dead center chest shot looking situation from the protesters section, and a piece of microphone got him in the net. Possibly. I mean, it had to be, no matter where it came from, they had to have been aiming at a different place. Like, you don't want to, where he got hit, you don't want to aim there, because that's just like, there's just too many variables. It's like, you want to aim, like you said, chest, head. You want to aim at those places, like to make sure it's like done. Whoever was doing that was trying to make sure it was like done. I still think that was a very professional shot. I know a lot of people argue that because it wasn't that far. I think that's a super professional shot. I love your humor. You always make me laugh. Keep up the good work. What does this say? Merle T. Kiwi? Is that 3 names, 2 names, 1 name? Miss Dana, I live near Tyler's parents. Mr. Robinson owns a custom countertops business. Mitchell lives down the street too. I'm too scared to talk to the neighbors. So Mitchell lives around there. Okay. So retired Washington sheriff. He was married in the church, so he moves back to Utah afterwards. And then he's just a little bit away from them. Okay. Interesting. So obviously still a part of the church, right? Friends with the Robinson family, I guess. I mean, if he's down the street, at least neighbors. So enough to have each other's numbers, him and his father, I guess. Okay. Lives down the street, huh? That's interesting. Where? Message me. I mean, I don't really want to know where, but I just want to understand how that happened. Like, I don't want to know where anybody lives, but I want to understand how that happened. He walked in, he said, this is what's going to happen. Like, how do you know that's what's going to happen? And it's like, he wasn't telling the truth. Tyler could have just waited outside his house and been like, hey guys, I'm right here. Could have waited. Didn't have to go and turn himself in. That didn't have to happen. So how'd they make that happen, right? Was it his dad and him? Was it just him? Where's the footage? Why aren't they showing any footage? Drewski looking like Tyler's lawyer. Oh, man, he does. He does. He definitely looks like Tyler's lawyer. 100%. 100% looks like Tyler's lawyer. Looks like Meghan McCain. Looks a little bit like Erica. Like, that's why he said conservative women. He knew what he was doing. He wrapped up a bunch of people into one. We all just saw Erica. Freedom for null. Okay. Frank Turret's an officer Tatum, Tweedledee and Tweedledum. Thank you, coach. You bring me you bring a smile to my face every morning. Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Love Knots Deeper sent me over the edge. Oh, the baby saying, love you, dada. Love you, baby. There you go. Wife's messaging me. Deeper sent me over the edge. Well, that's Lindsay. That's Lindsay for you. I didn't do that. That's all Lindsay Graham, you know? Will Thacker, have you heard the theory that there's 200 confirmed craters on Earth, that God casted out 200 fallen angels? They say the craters are from them. Really? That sounds like a members thing to talk about. Let me just see that. 200 craters on Earth. That would be a cool thing to talk about. Interesting. Thank you so much. We still have to talk about on the members, the Noah's Ark found in Turkey. We're going to be covering that. I think next week we'll talk about that a little bit. The wife brought that one up. She wants to talk about that. Overthinking out loud. Pennywise and Hamburglar get views when they cover Candace, Barron, or Coach. Pennywise, are you talking about? Who are you talking about? Who's Pennywise? Is Gary Pennywise because of his head? Oh, that's not fair. Hamburglar? Oh, because that guy's hat. Oh, come on. Don't do that. Don't do that to the Hamburglar. He's a nice guy, the Hamburglar. In reality, their independent content mostly gets viewed by their small core audience, never gets close to your channels. Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah. What can you do, right? What can you do? You know, everybody's running their own race. You know, some people are just getting carried by, you know, government institutions. They're not telling anybody. Looking forward to seeing if my pastor brings up any of the talking points on Sunday. Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, etc. Been skeptical because he's flying jets to DC weekly for the president's Christian leaders. Where's Amari? John, is that for real? That's your pastor? John Shuttlesworth? Let me see this really quick. I don't want to lose this Officer Tatum voicemail number, you know? John Shuttlesworth, pastor. Let me see this guy. What's your pastor look like? Oh, yeah, he's chilling. Ew. There's a picture of him, and vomit all over him. Oh, goodness me. Look at him. That is a private jet if I've ever seen one. That is a real private jet. That is a nice jet. Oh, my gosh. What a guy. What a guy. I got to pull this up. Hold on a second. Definitely got to pull that up. That's your pastor? For real? Why are you still going? I don't know, man. I feel like the second my pastor gets a jet, I'm kind of out. I'm kind of just like, I'm good, man. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I got a Bible at home. It's fine. It's fine. Don't even worry about it. That's your pastor? Hold on. Is this the same guy even? Now it's saying this guy's dead. Not the same guy. Why does this bring up so many other things? Google brings up one thing. This brings up another thing. Ah, well, whatever. Let's keep going. But yeah, he's definitely on a private jet. He's definitely one of those guys. Jeez. Sway Diesel. Who would have thought the hide your kids, hide your wife They are blanking. They are blanketing, or they blanking. But you're saying blanketing. I don't know. They blanking everyone out. Her. Guy was right all along. Hide your kids. Hide your wife. That's an old school reference. There might be some people that don't even remember that. Actually, species and races are different. Yeah, that was a perfect. I should have done that. It was a perfect opportunity. Actually, it's a little different. I mean, not to be insulting here, but we don't consider squirrels a different race from us. They're a different species. And I think we take the same type of thinking when it comes to aliens. You know? Anyway. Evildoer. You okay? Hope you're okay, evildoer. Zack Attack Maniac. Distraction, and it will be a nothing burger anyway. Maybe. You're talking about the aliens? Maybe. Because that's people always have this. Anyone who uses the term nothing burger is usually they're a little pessimistic. But if they bring an actual, whether it's a hologram or whatever, of actual aliens, and they say this is the alien race, we're communicating with the alien race, it will not be nothing because they won't allow it to be nothing. They'll be like, no, this is really happening, and you have to contribute and consent and be a part of all of this. Especially when they start saying, well, the aliens have suggested that we do this, and they've suggested that we do that, and they've suggested this, and they've helped us advance that. And they say there's an intergalactic organization that we're supposed to be a part of, but we have to make a couple of changes to the way society works. Oh, buddy, that's not going to be nothing. That's going to be one of the craziest things you've ever experienced, okay? You and everyone in your bloodline have never experienced anything quite like what could possibly happen, okay? Just saying. Never know. We'll see. We'll see. Because it's all been inching up for a long, long time. Aliens, Nephilim, demons. Yes. Become a member to support Coach. Thank you very much. Steve 1026. Appreciate you. Mint Daddy Crew. Shout out to you. What is this? What does this say? Kanda Burgess? Kanda Burgesse? Burgesse? Coach, this online world gets my cortisol all built up. You are the dopamine of the soul. Chicken soup for the soul. Chicken noodle soup for the soul. Doing the Lord's work. Thank you very much. Yeah. Appreciate that. Really appreciate that. Thank you. Mortal Kombat Ultra. Fatality equals Black Widow. Or Sparkle Widow, you know? Glitter Widow. Geo, hi, Coach. Hi. Coach, Aubrey shared a post on X today that beautifully captures what you mentioned about business relations. She did, actually, and I had that ready, and I was like, I don't know if I need to share that. But yeah, you're right, she did, and I did read that this morning, actually. Like Tatum and Tamu and Graham Allen is really guilty of this as well. Please take a moment to read it to the grand jury. Well, I mean, I can tell you what she was talking about. She was just saying there are people who are taking this employment relationship that they had with Charlie, and they're building it into more. And then what she says is employment. She's like, if you were trying to get speaking gigs, if you were trying to have a business relationship, if you were trying to get him to speak at places, and like that was your relationship, she's like, that's employment. That's a business relationship. She's like, and people who were just that are trying to make it into more. I think Graham Allen's the most guilty of that. He had a relationship with Charlie, and she even said, it's not like you guys were getting dinner off the clock. She's like, it's not like you were like in his house with his family. Right? You had a business relationship with him. His business relationships were just a little more interactive than regular business relationships, but the transaction was the same. Right? And she's right. And I think the person that came to mind right away, I was like, oh, that's Graham Allen. Because now he's like, I'm going to fight for you. Oh, you deserve so much better. He's putting these broken heart emojis and stuff. He's like, I won't stop fighting for you, Charlie. And it's like, bro, you just wanted to speak at Turning Point events. Like, obviously, you were just a part of the conservative movement. You guys had the same talking points, and you just wanted to speak at the events. And you wanted to become more of an influencer. Obvious. That's what it was. And that's what so many people had going on. Like, And now you're making it into this big thing. Like, oh man, I was so close to him. And let me tell you something. He would hate Candace. Oh my God. Like that Eric Bowling guy who first said that on Patrick Bet-David's podcast when he got outed. When he was like, oh, you know, I was around Charlie. I knew Charlie really well. And, you know, there was a quiet divorce between him and Candace. She hasn't been around since, I don't know, 2018. She hasn't been around in a long time. And everybody's like, they toured together in 2024. And he's like, oh, well, I didn't really say, oh. They're always trying to build it up into more and more and more. So, yeah, that's the gist of it. I don't want to sit and read that whole thing. It was a pretty long post. I tagged you on X with Michael Mitchell. Okay, good. Thank you very much for doing that. Thank you very, very much for doing that. I have to bookmark it right away. Right away. I have to show you guys this. I mean, whoever, if you tag me in those pictures, tag it again, like repost it. Tag me again in those pictures that you showed me, because my interactions, my notifications are just crazy. There's just so many within like an hour. It's just nuts. But there's definitely one I have to show you guys. It's just as important as the guy who brought in Tyler. It's just as important. I have to show you guys this. I know we're running low on time, but there's no way I'm not showing this to you guys. Are you kidding me? Who did this? Who did this? I can't even fit the whole picture in here. Who did this? How dare you? How dare you, whoever did this? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, whoever did that, thank you so much. Who's responsible for this? Oh my gosh. Manny Angel, Sir Manny Angel, thank you so much. Holy, oh my gosh. You guys are nuts. I don't condone it. You know? That was epic. Oh my gosh, what a head, huh? From Easter Island, huh? Descendant of Kandahar giants, but the only thing that's giant on him now is his head, you know? Just hilarious. Oh, I'm actually crying. Benny Johnson has the looks of a magnificent McCoy. I mean, yeah, you got to give it to him, right? He does have that McCoy flair about him now. And a lot of people do say he has the same type of hips as well. So just saying. Greer is a plant. Look further into his connections. No, I don't follow him. What are you, crazy? I know everything about Greer. I just said he was doing occult rituals. Come on, man. Don't come on. I just said he was doing occult rituals. Okay? So obviously I'm not following. I don't follow people who do occult rituals to summon demons into regular people who are thinking that they're summoning UFOs from light years away. Clearly. And there's no proof that he's that kind of plant, but he is a plant. Most of the UFO guys are. All, like, you know, there's one UFO guy that was on Joe Rogan, and he's like, well, the Pentagon said I'm not. This is what the Pentagon has cleared me to say. It's like, oh, okay. So you work for the Pentagon? Okay. That's been a great interview. Thanks for having me watch this for 3 hours. So there's been a lot of that. So most of the UFO guys are that. Most of them. Except for, why can't I think of his name? I did an interview with him. Polaris. He's one of the UFO guys. He's not a plant. He's actually a solid source. Guesses for President Trump announcement? I don't know what his announcement will be. I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe it will be more about AI. Maybe it will be about the war. Maybe it'll be about Cuba. I think it would be like one of those things. Those are like the biggest things going on right now. Hollyful, Rob McCoy's shirt is a pirate on vacation. Oh, just a pirate just on vacation, you know. Arr, very tired, arr. I've been tired. I just want to sit with a mojito. Can you make me a Bellini? Do you have any Bellinis there, sir? Yes, please. Peach Bellini, please. Yar. Can I have a pina colada? Can I trouble you for a pina colada, boy? Is this where I'll find the buffet, the lunchtime buffet? I'm hungry. I don't even want to look at the sea today. I'm not looking to look at the sea today. I just want to put my feet up. I'm going to watch some TV. Do you have a TV here, boy? Anyway. Mary one, sitting in my BMW to renew my license. Today's my birthday. Listening to your show makes this actually enjoyable. Keep up the great work. God bless you and your family. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, no black poppy. Happy birthday to you. Anyway, let's keep going here. You know? You like that voice, though, right? Your boy's got a voice on him. I mean, come on now. Watching from Alaska, love your show. You provide much needed giggles daily. Why are you in Alaska? Huh? What you doing in Alaska? Arr. What you doing there? Arr. Keith Tank, your Officer T impression is straight up dastardly. Oh my gosh, that is a good word for it. It is dastardly, you know. It's a very dastardly. It's a dastardly deed. This is such a dastardly deed. DD, you know, I was gonna play a clip of Mr. Dastardly himself. He's like, I reached 200 subscribers on TikTok or Instagram or whatever the hell, I don't care. And he's like, so what we doing here today? And he like shoves a cake in his face with his glasses on. I'm like, what are you doing? Are you a pastor or not? What are you doing? Get it together, man. It was so weird. It's such a weird video. I was showing Lance. I'm like, I don't think I'm going to show this to everybody. All of this stuff can be so heavy and overwhelming. You keep us laughing through it all. Appreciate you so much. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Let's keep going here. Sandy Jones, check out the necklace theory. It's a piece of the necklace that caused the neck wound. Trigger Smart. I would have to have Trigger Smart on the show. I can't just like, I think I can get him on the show. Nowadays, hide your kidneys. Hide your kids, hide your kidneys. Fleet sends out a membership. Shout out to Fleet, friend of the show. Absolutely. Moira sends a membership, friend of the show. And come on, what kind of name is this? What are we doing here with the names, guys? What are we doing here? Jola Tijan. Jolita. Oh, that's actually a nice name. That's actually a very pretty name. Jolita Jane. That's actually a very nice name. I take it back. I'm sorry. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is the... Sorry, Jolita. Welcome to the crew, by the way. That is it, ladies and gentlemen. We have hit the 3-hour mark just about. Appreciate you guys so much. It was a rough morning, man. I fell asleep last night. I couldn't even keep my eyes. I couldn't even meet up with Lance. I was like, I'm out of it, man. Because the last 2 nights I've gotten like 5 hours of sleep. I'm at the age where 5 hours of sleep, you might as well just not let me sleep at all. You know, it's the same exact thing. So, well, let me see here. Yeah, let me see here. Boom and bang. Gotcha. But thank you guys so much. Oh, geez. Oh my gosh. The buys aren't what showed up there. Yes. Bye, everybody. Bye. Appreciate you guys so much. Really appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much for laughing with me, for being with me while we do this. I really enjoyed it. Thank you guys so much for doing it. And we'll do it again tomorrow. And I think I have to message Zach. Zach, if you're watching, I'm sorry I haven't messaged you back. I'm terrible with messages, but I will get back to you. I want to interview Zach on Friday. I hope he's still open to it. Then I want to get Sam Parker in at some point. Then I want to get Dee from Dee Got a Podcast on at some point. I think I'm going to start doing that every Friday, just having an interview. Anyways, guys, just wanted to say bye. Someone said they're from Trinidad. Yes, from Trinidad, bye. Hey, bye, you're from Trinidad. Hey? You're from Trinidad, you're from Tobago. Who your mother? Huh? That's how they talk over there. It's a good impression, trust me. Anyways, guys, thank you guys so much. Fleet is just banging out the buys. Thank you guys so much for being here. We'll see each other tomorrow, and Candace is going live soon. Baron will be going live soon after. He hasn't said it, but I think it's a show that we do not want to miss with everything that's developed. I think he's going to be going hard on this show. Don't want to build it up more, but I'm just saying that's what I think. So make sure you